We're back live. I'm just waiting for people to come in for a second. We are back live. So
Is the other stream still there, or does it delete?
No, I'm gonna keep it there. I'm gonna keep it there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I gotta do some edits. I gotta cut out that back part. I chop it off in a second.
JR, you missed these bars that I was dropping, so I just went crazy on the freestyle side.
No,
Ash,
man.
my line.
It kind of sounded the same when you did last time.
Recycling bars. This man out here recycling bars.
Nah, I ain't recycling no damn bars. Now y'all hating. Now, let go, man. Handle my lightweight, man. Get Sweeney off me, man. Get
You're recycling. Wait, you're recycling a freestyle?
No, I just made that up. God damn.
I thought he was recycling Langston Hughes. I thought he was Langston Hughes for a minute.
Not Langston Hughes.
Langston Hughes, you know, country man.
That's the Mississippi variant, bro. I tell you.
Damn, bro. I thought you was coming off the top.
That was off the top.
You were
That was not off the top.
Pause.
Yeah,
bro. I was just about to say pause.
Y'all
Because I thought he said, "What happened to a dream deferred?"
Get your to a fester like a raisin in the sun.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get it cracking. Go ahead and get it cracking. You guys just tune in. Welcome to Lapeef Network. Make sure we hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So, I want to go ahead and apologize on behalf of the Lapeef Network for the technical difficulties that we just experienced right now. But we are back live. We're gonna go ahead and keep this show rolling. Do me a favor. Go ahead and share the stream. Share the stream right now while you're at it. Our next topic, and also welcome It's Given Podcast to the show. Thank you for joining in. We're going to be getting to your topic in a second, but we're going to go ahead and get to these other topics real quick. Next topic is, I got Alan from We Need to Talk says, we don't want as many options as we think we do. Let me go ahead and play this clip.
Okay. Ooh, 30. Maybe because of my family. I was feeling that at like 25, and I was like, y'all gotta chill.
Shout out to them.
Early.
What about you, bro? What you think?
I think we don't want as many options as we think we do.
We don't. We don't know.
So I work in UX design, and there's something called analysis paralysis, where if you have too many options, you'll make none. So I think what's happening, with dating apps, and you can go to different cities and things like that, it's like, because you always think there's a better dude or a better woman, you don't necessarily show up with your best self to what's available to you. Because you're always holding out for whatever is better. So it's a catch-22, because I'm also from West Africa, so you don't have as many options, and you think having more options makes your life better, but it kind of isn't. I think we need to focus on like making the best of the options that are available, and not always thinking the grass is greener on the other side.
No, that eyes.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. We don't want as many options as we think we do. I'm gonna go ahead and start with let me go to you first, Sweeney. What are your thoughts about that, sir?
Sweeney ain't never had no options.
Sure didn't.
Damn.
But
He laughing because it's true.
it's funny because it's true.
Look, he did that on purpose. JR did that on purpose. He knew what was up. Talking about that.
Sweeney had options. Y'all can get off my boy.
Hey, I ain't got no options out here, man. I'm flying solo dolo.
Sweeney, I'm gonna come back. No, go ahead.
But I think he's right. There was a point in time where when your options were limited, you were able to make an immediate choice. You were able to make a concise choice. But nowadays, if somebody pisses you off, it's right back to the phone. It's right back to the apps. It's right back to Instagram. So I agree with him. I think a lot of y'all got too many goddamn options. Need to sit your ass down somewhere. What you say, Mr. Lego? Need to sit their ass down somewhere?
Yes, sir. Sit their ass down somewhere. Because really, that's really it. And that's my thing. If a woman knows how to sit her ass down somewhere, that's the best option. I don't look for the baddest woman. I look for the woman that has a better propensity of sitting her ass down somewhere long term.
What was that said? That was your Ruth?
That was me. on a scale of 1 to 10, how many
Okay.
women?
All right.
What's that, Ruth?
I said, I wonder if we graded ourselves like on that scale of sitting your ass down 1 to 10.
That'd be interesting. So let's do that. On a scale of 1 to 10, sitting your ass down is 10. And like talking shit and be like, you can't tell me nothing is 1. Who's gonna go?
9.
Mommy 3 love.
9. 9.5.
I'm a 10, baby.
Okay. 9, 10. You said 10?
Mm-hmm. I want to be what you call that. Let me get my words together. Hold on. What's that word?
So we got a group of women on here that is okay with sitting their asses down somewhere.
Baby, put me in the dungeon, baby. Put
But I
me in
think
the
Ash that you
dungeon.
want to
Lock
be
me
honest.
up.
Hold on. I think Ash that you want to be honest. Go ahead.
I think that a lot of the times people forget that women out here are working hard and going after things based off of necessity and not desire. Right? Our natural state, our innate desire is to want to be the helpmate, want to be the helpmate, want to be that person that is feminine in our feminine, but it's the world that makes us masculine because we got to be out here, we got bills to pay. But I don't think that's most women's natural desire.
No, that's a choice. That's cap.
Hold on, Ash was about to say something. Look at Ash. She about to say something. Look at her.
I'll
1
be
to
honest.
10.
For me, I'm at a cool 8.5. I'm at an 8.5 because there's still certain healing points that needs to be corrected. So that I'm the perfect, like, virtuous woman, as I said previously. However, I don't feel like, how do I? It was something that was just said. I don't feel as if like I am, like I have too many options, but I also feel as though like I don't want to settle. So like I'm in a place where it's like, yes, I'm showing up, giving my all to the prospective dating situation. However, there has to be a fine line. There has to be like some type of marking point for balance, because then you kind of tiptoe between leniency, convenience, and the grass is greener on the other side. So I feel as though when you learn that balance, when you learn that that fine line, it makes your dating experiences a little bit easier and coherent to deal with.
Hey, can I say something? Dog,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
iPhone, give me that thumbs up. The reason why I say 10 because I'm established. I'm not struggling. I'm not paycheck to paycheck. So I'm at a point where I want some at home dick. I don't want to be having to go out and get some dick, or I gotta call somebody. I want my man. I want to be able to do my man. I'm good. Like, I'm not like, I don't need a man to pick me, come pick me, rescue me, take me out the hood. I'm not like a pygmy. Like, I would just be like a Risa to Risa, and I met you in 2 weeks and you can move in with me. No.
Mommy 3. How
I'm not desperate. But if the right man come to me, baby, I am ready to settle down. We
Mommy
can
3. Mommy 3. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest, how hard is that to find? What you just asked for.
It's hard to find someone that is not with the shit. Now, I don't need a cutty buddy. I don't need a nutty buddy. I don't need a buddy to come over at night. And I don't need No, I said my man at home. I want a husband that I can please on and do things with. And have a sex dungeon. I want a sex dungeon. I want to do some shit like that. I can't do that with no motherfucker from no dating app, no Hinge app. I don't want to do that shit with no any type of man. I'm good. My money good, and I get with a man. He straight. We good. We build together, take trips together. We good. Them kids gonna get older, baby. That.
So
baby, I need life.
You mean to tell me all those cash apps and shit you've been getting, all them text messages, all the messages
They trying to be nutty buddies.
How you know that?
Want no nutty buddy, because that's what they is. Because if they send the cash, they'll come pick me up, baby.
And Mommy 3, if you that established, you gotta do better than $5 then. So like
I gave you a deposit. I gave you a deposit. I gave you a deposit of $5. And you didn't I tried to book you a flight. I tried to book you first class Spirit, and you didn't want that.
Not first class Spirit.
You gonna be at the front. You gonna be in the front.
Can I just say that if you're remaining in your feminine energy and you are not being a pick me, as Mommy 3 stated so eloquently, that you can still have that balance and not like just be going for anything, but still making sure like, listen, I'm going into this intentfully, like, you know, that this is not just like a play around, like this is going somewhere. I think you can still.
Can I say something
Yeah,
to
I
you,
was going
Ash?
to say, like, that's exactly what I was going to say, feminine energy, but not every man know how to keep a woman or put in their feminine energy. Like, we all would like to submit. Like, we want that real bad, but can you keep us in our feminine energy where it comes natural?
That's what I was about. Hold on, Ash. That's what I was about to say to you. So I'm glad you brought that up. What's your name? Dave West. Okay. So it's not really about being feminine, right? Because women have a role of like feminine. You first take her out on a date, she's just gonna act all dainty or whatever, but is that who she is at her core? And according to just like you said, what Ash said, you're trying to get to that point where you can become a more virtuous woman, right? Because a lot of times a woman's masculinity comes from her trauma. So you could be dating a dude, everything's going great, but second he says something or does something that triggers you, something that what your ex did or whatever, or you think he's bullshitting because he didn't hit you back a certain way. Next thing you know, your masculinity comes out and you start acting a fool, and that's kind of like where your femininity actually just goes to the back burner. So sometimes we don't know if you're feminine until we really get to know you, or we don't inadvertently triggered you and you act the fool, or either you calm down and you say, you know what, can we have a talk because you did this and did that. You're like, oh shit, I like how she handled that.
And Mr. Lego has definitely a point. You never know someone until like you see them sick, angry, sad, or in the paint and things of that nature. But it is very integral for women, regardless of if a man is leading or if he's not. You have to remain in your feminine energy. And what I will say to your point, Mr. Let Go, is you have to identify your triggers. You have to identify your triggers because you may scare your potential soulmate away unintentionally and subconsciously. So
yeah.
And if you find because I said 9.5 because I feel like I'm an ant. Like I don't have to be told what to do. I'm doing what I need to do. So I don't necessarily need you to tell me. I need to know that it's time to sit down. I need to know that this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do. So I don't really need a man to tell me what I need to do. And so if it was a 10, then that means I listen to every single last thing without even running it through my logic and my experience. So that's why I gave myself that.
But Mr. Let Go, like I'm so sorry, Mark.
No, that's fine. No, I was gonna say if you find like an extremely feminine, submissive woman, it's either a father that made her feel very safe and protected that she still like looks to as the man in her life, or she has a man or a husband that does that. I think almost all women, with a few rare exceptions, they default is like to be feminine and submissive. But like Mr. Lego said, with the trauma, you got bad relationships or the man that you with you do not trust at all, so you feel like you got to protect yourself from him within the relationship. So now you fighting him to try and get what you feel is right within a relationship, and it all boils down to the trust factor, which is why I be so big on just stop lying to women and give them choices and options when you're speaking to them, because at the very least they know they chose that, and if they stay up under that, they can feel like they're protected because they know at the very least you're going to tell them the truth and give them an option about whether they agree or they disagree with what's going on. It's an act of, I think, masculinity to make the women around you feel safe, also the men around you feel safe. The consistency, stability, and security of knowing that, look, this man is this specific type of person. You don't even really got to go into detail. You should go into detail, as Trev said earlier, about asking questions to get to know somebody. But there's some people you could just tell, like, he ain't going for that. He's not about to allow this. I don't even. I was talking to a young lady one time, and I asked her who Cardi B was because I never heard of her. She was like, "You'll never like her." I don't know who Cardi B is. I never had a conversation about what type of women I like. She knew off top that I would be offended and disgusted by somebody acting like that. And I think that speaks to the way she sees me as a man. And that's why she doesn't behave in that way. Because she, even if she had it in her, she would not do it when we were engaging. Because I'm just, it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I said time and time again, I'm turned off by that whole ideology, that attitude, that reflection of who you are. It's disgusting to me. So yeah.
And another part of being triggered is the woman's inadvertent need to protect herself, right? Like some of y'all have been protecting yourselves for so long where if something happened and the dude is like, we doing this, no. And you like, what are you talking about? I actually had a woman where we was just leaving the movies or something, and some crazy shit was going on, and we was like on the 3rd floor at a parking deck, and it was at night, and something was going on like right near the elevator. So we stand in the elevator. I looked, I was like, come on, we walking up the steps. She's like, no, I don't want to walk up the steps. I said, we walking up the steps. She says, no, we're not. And I'm like, we're walking up the steps. She said, I'm standing right here. And I had I was forced to stay right there because if I take you out, I'm responsible for you. So I'm in a position where something could have happened to both of us because it was a whole bunch of stuff going on. Dudes was fighting or whatever. And I'm sitting here like pissed because she won't let me protect her. Never call her ever again. I got her back home, and that was the last time I didn't even talk to her again because I was so offended by her need to protect herself versus me protecting her. I'm like, you know what? That's a trauma response. She went straight to, I got this. I'm from the hood. I don't care what's going on. They better not come over here with me. And she literally did not even listen to what I was saying, or either she looked at what I was saying as I'm being controlling. But I'm like, yo, I'm trying to keep you safe, trying to keep me safe too. But I was so mad because I had to stand there next to her, and I could have got shot or something by standing there because I couldn't just leave her. But yeah,
so
it's go ahead.
Do y'all immediately like judge women for that, or do y'all try to be understanding and think of that?
Oh no,
like,
I'm
maybe
done.
It's a trauma response and just like kind of like that's a.
If I can't protect you, if I can't protect you, I have no use for you because you can put me in a position where I can get hurt, just like in that situation. I could have got hurt. Like it makes no sense. I'm not dealing with you because this day you say no because I'm like Sarah knows me. Some of y'all know me. I'm not gonna be yelling at nobody if we're in person. So if I turn around, like, get down, come over here, hey, do this, I mean it. And I'm not gonna turn around and just hear you say, who are you talking? If you don't get your ass over here, because to a certain degree, if I see you as somewhat of my responsibility, I'm not saying twice, and I'm here to help you. But here's the thing, if you interpret my words or my tone of voice when we're together and we're outside where something can happen as who you talking to, oh no, you trash to me.
Okay, well, not necessarily, of course, with something like that. Not a situation when your life is in jeopardy, of course, but like any other way where a woman is like using her masculine energy because she's protecting her feelings, not necessarily something that could put you in danger, but like, do y'all take that in consideration? Like,
can you give an
help
example?
them, lead them back to their feminine energy rather than just be like, yeah.
Can you give a specific example of what you mean?
Example? Like you talking about in a relationship, walking down the street, like what you mean?
I think
while
you're thinking of an example, I think that Aaron just gave an example of what he was talking about as far as saying, hey, we are about to leave. And then she said no. And then he stepped up again and he said, no, we need to take the stairs. And she said no again. So I think that sometimes we as women will get lazy in recognizing where a man is trying to take the leadership and we're not allowing him to have it. And I think that the reason why is because it does go back to that trauma response of we can't trust anyone more than we trust ourselves. And if we know that up until this point, we've only ever made bad decisions, we've only ever chosen bad partners where we're up and at it and frazzled and traumatized and, you know, triggered and all of those things. And why would we trust that a man is saying, hey, I'm trying to protect you, when realistically speaking, the protection that we act like we have is actually a defense mechanism that says we don't trust ourselves. It's a cloak, right? So I think that we as women, and you know, maybe you guys agree, maybe disagree, I'd love to know what you think, but I do think that if you're stepping into your feminine, because I too am like you, I cannot see this far and y'all are on my phone, but I think it's Mama 3. What you were saying, it's like, I'm established, I got it going on, you know, I've spoken all over the world, I've made the money, I've had the cars, I've done all of the things, but when I get around my man, I am like little girl. I literally turn into giddy, let me follow you, oh my God, I'll melt into your arms.
I want to be in your skin, Daddy.
Baby, yes.
Definitely want to turn my brain off.
Yes, I don't want to think. Like, I don't want to think about anything, right? Well, not anything, but y'all know what I mean. But I say that to say that it's a beautiful opportunity for us to maybe when that man the first time says, no, we're doing this, maybe just pause and say, well, why am I a little resistant towards what he's saying? And one of my exes, ultra successful man, super masculine. That is the most feminine I've ever been. I got so many beautiful glimpses of how I'm going to be inside of my marriage. But he used to say to me all the time, because I used to be, you know, achieving Sarah, traveling around the world, Sarah. And so inside of that, I was still in my masculine and I didn't know how much I was. And he said to me, if I have to explain to you what's happening while we're on the battlefield, we'll both get shot.
Thank you.
Sometimes you just need to listen. And when we get off of the battlefield, when there's time, I'm going to be like, all right, baby. So look, this is what was happening. There was crossfire. We had to get out of there. And then it can make sense to us after. But it goes back to, if you don't trust yourself, you'll never trust a man.
Because I am not explaining shit. When I say we go. And if you give me any kickback, I ain't never talking to you again.
All right, let me get Trav and Smooth in there. I mean, Trav and Sweeney.
Okay, so can we just take a second to point out the absolute hypocrisy that we're witnessing right now? Just a second, because I want you to just take that logic for just a moment, right? And let's honestly look at the grace that women are afforded on a daily basis. Because if me as a man decided to say, oh, you know what? I'm in my feminine energy right now, and I need a nice woman to unlock my masculinity. How the hell would I look like? That is going to repel women like crazy. And that's what I'm saying. So we have to just understand sometimes, if a dude's not for you, he's not for you. And I understand that sometimes it's a trauma response, but if you can at all help it, be as feminine as you can. Come out of the box like that. Right? Because there's no way that we would do that. Just how that would turn you off as a woman if we came with feminine energy and said, no, but I need to make sure that you are feminine so you can unlock my masculinity. Then I can go ahead and start taking care of business like I'm a man. That would sound ludicrous. That's what it sounds like to me when a woman tells me that, because it doesn't happen everywhere, right? It happens here on the West Side. Of course, it doesn't happen everywhere. Most women do not come feminine out of the box around here. And that's tough to deal with, right? Nobody wants anyone who's abrasive or defensive or just crass. We don't want to deal with that. That's not cool. It shouldn't be acceptable. If it's not acceptable for us, it shouldn't be acceptable for you either. I want to talk about that part, but I'm going to get to the actual topic. I just wanted y'all to take a moment just to let that marinate for a second, just to see how
I want to respond to that.
Sounds.
I do too.
Yeah, you can when I'm done. You can when I'm done.
Yeah, go ahead. All right,
so now, so we when he said we have the analysis paralysis, absolutely agreed. We understand that men do it, right? Because the men at the very top, the top 10% of women, which 80% of women are chasing. Guess what? That dude has too many options, and he's going to exercise all of them and all of you. That's how he feels. Because if you're just going to come and you're going to be feminine with that guy, you like him, everybody else is doing the same thing. It's a race for this guy. So yes, he's going to smash all of you. And the guy that isn't like that, you know, he's going to get the bad side of things. And I'll just tell you this from personally. I've talked to a bunch of women. I've seen women's dating app profiles. They show me the background. They show me the messages. I've seen the IGs, right? I'm talking about dozens and dozens of women. I do a lot of interviews and they show me these things, right? And there's no vested interest because there's no romantic involvement. So they're very honest. And when they are honest and I see these things, there's so many, right? So many things. And they find the most silly reasons to eliminate men. They find all these icks and everything else just to eliminate these guys without even giving them a shot. And they probably would be a very good candidate for them, but they will miss it because they have too many options. They don't invest in it. And because they're so scared, they won't invest truly into a man. They'll say, oh, well, now this guy, and I'm talking to that guy, just in case, and this guy, and that guy, just in case, because they have no belief in one of those guys actually being a dude. They don't want to put the work in with one of those guys. They don't want to build with one of those guys. And that guy will love you and cherish you and take care of you for the rest of your life. But you don't care about that. You just want the best pick. But that pick that you might feel is the best is probably not best for you because he's for the streets. I'll leave it there for now. I know a lot of people had some
y'all go
or whatever.
Y'all go ahead.
But I'm just gonna say,
Okay.
and that's why I didn't understand why people would call women like us pygmies when pygmy women are the ones that lie and pander to men to try to get that man to pick her. And then on top of that, pygmy women only want certain type of men. They don't want the good guy. You ain't gonna see a woman that's so desperate want a man that's undesirable or lame or too nice. Pygmy women only want that percentage of men that everybody want. They just want to be picked by those type of men. But Trev, I must say, I'm gonna ask you a question. We spoke at first about us defending ourselves, going to the
Talk to 'em.
store and this and that. So what kind of energy, like a single woman, what kind of energy she's tapping into when she's defending herself
Thank you.
at a store?
Feminine. When you're talking to that guy, you should remain feminine. You should be cordial. If you want to brush him off, you say, no, you know what? I'm married. I'm cool. You don't have to be masculine. You don't have to get tough with him. Like I said, if you want smoke, you give him fire. But at no point do you have to break your femininity.
So can I jump in, mommy?
What part of town is that? What part of town we talking about? Like, I'm just saying, like,
I want to know. I want to know
I
where these
mean,
guys are.
Why are you over there?
That are this aggressive?
huh?
Yeah.
I'm talking about where I'm
Hold on.
from. I ain't have no other choice but to be up over there.
Yeah, talk about where you from. We talk about where you at.
No, what I'm saying is, I mean, I can go to the 7-Eleven right here where I'm at and still get some type of like. What I'm trying to say, I'm gonna make it real simple. I feel like single women who maneuver through life by herself at that time, she really have to be both everything. If she don't have a man, she still have to protect herself. She don't have to be loud and ghetto about it, but she do have to tap into something more than she has to. So I feel like when women have their guard up when dating, they I don't feel like they're being like masculine. I just feel like they just being guarded because they trying to get to know who you are. Like she's not gonna say, "Oh yes, you can come to my house." Like what the fuck? Like a lot of men get mad when I say, "Hey, I'm not comfortable with you coming to my house and this and that." And like a man was straight up, I tell these stories all the time and I show proof. Like men would get upset saying, "That's you so masculine, like that's not polite for you to say. Cause I don't want you to come to my house. That's masculine."
They do twist
So,
it.
mommy three,
Yeah,
let me
like they talk crazy. Like
Yeah.
as soon as I stand my ground and stand on business on my boundaries, men call us masculine for saying it.
You
All
said
right, hold on, y'all. Let me get Sarah in there, and then we go to Lego.
So I when people have the conversation of men saying, well, if you want, what if I came to you in my femininity first because you come in your masculine? Well, we have to understand is two things. Number one, masculinity and femininity, they're not genders. They are energies and they are traits. Traits of masculine, certainty, clarity, decisive. It's very much grounded, rooted, strong. Femininity is flow. It's soft. It's nurturing. It's cooing. It's loving. It's all of those things. And we all have both, right? You have different energy with a baby than you do a person that's about to fight you in the street. And both are necessary for us to have. It's just obviously men go more towards masculine and women go more towards feminine, right? Because of the gender roles that we all have. So I say that to say that if you are a single woman living in America and you have a job and you might have children or you have things to do or you have goals, it is more masculine for you to have that kind of energy. Achievement is actually a masculine trait. And so if you're saying, well, we don't come in our feminine, well, the whole world makes all of us masculine because life is hard and you've got to get through it. And the only way to get through it is to channel that energy. Now, I do think that there's also varying degrees of masculinity and femininity, right? If you ain't got a knuck if you buck at the store because somebody tried to holler, no, there's definitely a way to say, thank you so much. No, I can't take that. You know, there's definitely ways to not be disrespectful or rude to someone. But I think that it's important for us to identify that if you're dealing with a single woman who has great core values, who is aligned in the vision that you have for your life, who really has something going for her, but she may not know how to follow leadership quite yet because she's been leading herself for 30, 35, 40 years, then it's okay to have that compassion inside of her growth, the same way that her having her own leadership and falling under your umbrella is going to make you a better man because now she's challenging you probably in ways that you've never been challenged before. That's all I wanted to say.
Are we
all right? So hold on, I got to get at Trail and Sweeney too, because you about to say some dumb shit too, but you didn't get a chance.
And let me say it first before you start talking.
All right, just go ahead. You about to say something?
Go ahead, go ahead, bro.
So, and this is no offense, and I may be wrong, so forgive me if this is misguided. Right? What Trev said is literally some shit that I've heard other people on social media say right? And it's this stupid red pill bullshit. And if I'm wrong, it's okay. I'm just going by hearing what you said. And I've heard this from red pill people at least 10 freaking times. And it's just sad where a lot of you guys, and I'm not just talking about you, Trail, but you said it. You somebody that said it. So a lot of you guys, y'all literally don't even think or hear or listen. Y'all just spit out this stupid red pill bullshit. Every time a woman says something, it clicks. Oh, I'm going to use this passage. I'm going to use that passage. And y'all don't think for yourselves. Virtually every woman on here, when we talked about the last subject on the last stream, literally said it's a lot of work to literally tell a man that I got a boyfriend. A man literally followed Mommy 3 to the car. She had to pull out a gun. You think that's feminine? And you're going to sit here and say, well, you need to be feminine all the time. She had to pull out a goddamn gun to tell a man she don't want his number. And regardless of where you are, in a lot of these cities, you got to walk, right? In Atlanta, we don't really walk nowhere. But the thing about it is, you can't just turn around and say, well, if I'm a man and I'm just going to be feminine, it just sounds stupid because it's like you literally did not listen to anything the women said and you just spitting out some stupid shit that you've seen on a damn post, and it's actually disrespectful because it shows the ladies that you didn't hear shit they got them said. The shit that women got to go through is a lot. And it's like being in the back of a crowd and you got to get to the front of a crowd for whatever reason, right? You can't just be like, excuse me. You're just going to get pushed back. You got to be like, yo, as a woman, you could be small and dainty, but you got to be like, excuse me. You got to get to the front of the crowd to get whatever you need to get, or you ain't going to fucking get whatever it is that you need. So as a woman, at some point, you got to push, shove, talk loud, get aggressive, grunt, whatever it is you need to do in order to get your point across. Pull out a gun like Mommy 3. It ain't no, be feminine all the time. And then you literally said, I don't understand where y'all be at. It don't fucking matter where they be at. It can happen anywhere. You could be going to the gas station, some random dude like, hey, come here, and grab your arm. You gotta be like, nigga, hey. You get what I'm saying? Whether she's believable or not, she gotta do it. You think, no, get away from me. So it's kind of stupid and ignorant. And it's the reason why I hate this red pill bullshit, because it literally hurts, misleads, and it literally poisons Black men to actually ignore what women actually have to go through.
Now, Mr. Neko, can you educate me on this red pill, blue pill narrative? Because I'm very unknowledgeable.
Hold on,
I hate it. Don't worry about it.
I got it. Hold on. I need a chance to respond to that.
Hold on, y'all. Let's
You got a
let
mouthful.
Bev respond, and then we got to go to Sweeney, and then we circle back around for everybody.
If you don't know about it, that's good. You don't need to know about it. It's disgusting.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. I think it's funny that you would phrase that in such a way where I just blundered a whole bunch of garbage, like I'm just spitting garbage that goes nowhere, right? That's hypocrisy at its finest, right? We can't do that. And then you have the nerve to say that I didn't listen. You obviously didn't listen to anything that I said, right? This just how? Nope. I don't think anybody else got the same message that you got out of that. For one, I said in a relationship. Hold on, I'm not done. You hold up. I said in a relationship, right? That's different. I said that. I began the premise with in a relationship. This is not what we want to deal with in a relationship. Yes, I did. No, and if you missed that,
you said walk down the street.
That's fine.
You say walking down the street. I don't see a reason why you should ever be masculine. What the hell are you talking about? You ain't say shit about no damn relationship. Now you just making up shit.
Gonna let me finish? Are you gonna let me finish or not?
Go ahead.
And so I did say that. And secondly, I am not red pill. First off, I'm married. Two, I promote marriage. I promote families. So stop pushing a false narrative about me trying to be red pill. That sounds stupid as hell. So don't do that, because that's not it. Everybody hears me talk about things weekly, and I say the same kinds of things, right? I'm going to stand on my square. If there's something that I don't agree with, I'm not going to pander, right? I'm not that guy. You could be that guy if you want to. I don't pander. I speak the truth. Some things are good. Some things are bad. I talk about it, the good, bad, and the fucking ugly. But guess what? What I won't do is sit up here and lie, right? I don't need to lie. I keep the truth. That's what's important to me, right? If with discussions, sometimes people are going to hear things that they don't want to hear, and that's fine, right? And we could discuss it, right? So we don't have to go ahead and then try to belittle each other for no reason, and definitely don't put words in my mouth and don't say that I said things that I didn't say. I think everybody else understood what I was talking about in a relationship, and then you want to bring it to the streets and all that. I understand what women go through on a daily basis, and I help a lot of women just like you do get through those things, right? I understand and appreciate women, but what I'm telling you is if women are looking for, man, there's a lot of women who are single, they're going to have to hear these hard truths sometimes, right? We're going to want a soft, feminine woman, and it isn't cool for us to walk around feminine. So at least sometimes you might need an analogy for them to understand how we feel when we see a woman who is being masculine. And you yourself has said you don't appreciate masculine women, right? And that's all of us. Most men don't appreciate that. And that's the point. You want to make it into other points, which is bogus. We don't have to do that. You know what I stand for here. So don't try to make it a situation where I'm trying to push red pill points. I am not red pill. I don't qualify to be red pill.
Okay, just one real quick. One, I did preface this and say, yo, if I'm saying what you did not mean, I apologize. Do you remember I did say that? So I did say forgive me, but I got to say it because you said it. And the actual analogy that sounded like 13 other red pill people saying is if I walk around as a feminine man and I'm acting girly and I don't need and I say I need a woman to make me feel masculine before I become masculine, how y'all gonna look at me? That was disgusting, and that was what you actually said, and that was what I seen on all these other red pill dumbass. One last thing. So I heard you say something that I heard other people say. So I'm not saying that you regurgitated from that what they said, but they said it, and I literally said if I'm out of line for saying something, my apologies.
Okay, so yes, you are out of line because you keep missing the context. Everybody who's ever said that, we're always speaking within the context of a relationship, because oftentimes women say, I need a man to put me in my femininity in a relationship for them to want to be feminine. So it's always within the context of a relationship. And that's the context Trev was speaking for when he said, if I'm in a relationship with a woman and I say, oh, well, I need to be, I'm feeling very feminine right now. And in order for me to be in my masculine, I need you to be feminine for me. It sounds ridiculous. So he's not saying anything wrong, because any woman who would hear a man say that would be like, what the fuck is you talking about? And what he's trying to do is hold a mirror up to them to get them to understand that's how we feel when we hear it. Because basically what they're asking us for is grace. They're asking us to give them the grace of coming at us any old kind of way, not trusting us, not believing in us, not doing it is coming in with pain and trauma and everything else. And we have to coach them and walk them through that rather than them coming at us whole like we're supposed to come at them whole. Because if I asked any of these women on this panel, if a man was dealing with trauma, if his mama wasn't there, if his daddy was having problems, if he was down on his luck or anything like that, would they give him the grace that they expect us to give? They would have a problem with it.
Can I say one
I
thing?
have a quick question. So, just like he was saying on the sidewalk, if the lady would have listened to him, that don't help you act into your masculine energy, like, move into your masculine energy.
No, I'm leaving your ass right there. You got it.
But Sweeney,
hold on, Mr. Lego. She asked me. The reason why I said that is because why am I going to try to? You're a grown ass woman. You just said, because y'all all said that when y'all with this man and you trust him, you're going to fall into your femininity. You supposed to, and what Trev said is you're supposed to come that way. So if I tell you, hey, you see that bullshit going on over there, let's go. And you say, no, I'm going to sit right here. Sit your ass right there then. The world going to show you faster than I will. Because it's ridiculous that we have to twist y'all arm to get y'all to act a certain way with us.
So Sweeney, I understand what you and Trev are saying, okay? What I'm saying, because the only reason why I just went off is because I heard that same shit on all these other shit, all right? So like I said, forgive me if you didn't mean it that way, because sometimes people just be regurgitating shit, all right? So the thing about it is, we don't get the same grace as women do because they are women. All right. I always say women are children, and y'all get mad at me. Women aren't children. They operate like children. Sarah just said it 15 minutes ago, and Mommy 3 concurred. Like, when I get around this particular person, I want to feel like a little girl. You feel me? So the thing about it is, we never want to feel like little boys around a woman.
Let go.
Hold on. So it's a little bit of a difference. So we can't compare the two. Whether you, Trev, you said it, or Sweeney, you said it, trying to compare a man being feminine or a man being a little boy versus a woman being masculine, or a woman acting like a kid. They're women.
Okay, fair. The thing is, Mr. Lego, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, that time is over. We're done with that. We are, as fellas, we are done trying to pull them into some shit. You want it because y'all are autonomous adults. I don't care how many times Mr. Lego try to call y'all children. Y'all are grown ass women. Y'all think for yourselves. Y'all go out there and work for yourself. Y'all just said y'all had all of this down, including Mommy 3 says she can take care of herself through and through. So I'm going to treat you like an adult. If you don't know how to act, we leaving your ass behind. The time of sitting there saying, oh, because I'm a man, I'm going to jump in front of your bullshit for you, is over with. Either get in line or get gone. And that's how it's got to be, because now men have to adjust. Women have changed. Society changed our women. Now it's time for us to adjust. Y'all want us to keep trying to drag you along?
You sound traumatized, honestly.
I'm not traumatized. I'm just...
Somebody done did. Who hurt you?
You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm hurt.
Because I ain't say that.
There's no love, bro. Like, what the fuck?
No, because there's no... Hold on, wait, Mr. Lego. There's no love for us because they don't trust us.
We don't need it. We're not women.
Okay, Mr. Lego.
Y'all want to be women so bad.
Okay, Mr. Lego. We got
Sarah in there. Go ahead, Sarah.
So I was gonna say, when I was referring to like being my little girl, I don't mean like immature or naive. I what I'm saying is we're jovial, we're young, we're free, we're trusting, and I actually feel like for a man, this is when you know that a man is truly loving on, trusting inside of that relationship, is when he allows himself to be his little boy. It's a two-way street. If it's only the girl being her little girl with her man, that's more of like a daughter father, and that's probably a traumatized relationship. But when it's both of us having the opportunity to just feel safe, like when we used to play on the monkey bars, when we used to go in the tires, when we used to play tag, and it's just like, oh, we're having so much fun doing nothing. I could talk to you, I could trust you, I love you, it's us forever. That's what I'm talking about when I'm speaking my little girl and little boy. And I think it's funny because I saw on a podcast where someone was talking about how well, what about when a man can't be vulnerable? Every man I've ever been with has cried on my lap, literally. Like in the low, they've all hit low points, they've all hit hard times, they've all hit whatever. If we can't be in a space where that man can cry like a little boy before the world told him, yo, act like a man, before the world made him hard, before the world said you aren't good enough, before the world said, yo, you got to do better, be strong, be tough, put a smile on, keep going, put your chest up, shoulders down. If you can't be that safe space for him too, then it's for me, I don't believe that that's going to be a synchronized, nor is it going to be what is it called, yin and yang, and
it's like gears of a car. You in drive most of the time, but at some point you gotta go in reverse. Sometimes you gotta go in neutral. Sometimes you gotta go in park. So at some point, a guy has to feel vulnerable enough to be vulnerable with you. But you ain't gonna be like that all the time. But it's at some point you got to put the car in neutral to push it. You feel me? So it's like gears.
But us being on our little girl isn't all the time either. You know what I mean? Like it's yin and yang. There's times, like I always say, us as women in our divine feminine, it's like we're a princess with a warrior spirit. So we can be in the car and we can follow your lead and we can do the things. But if we go into the world and it's us against the world and we need to fight, please believe you got a soldier right next to you. Please believe you have someone that you can build with. Please believe that you can be that helpmate, right? So I think that we live in a world where it's so divisive, and I think it's Sweeney is the gentleman. I can hear the resistance, and let me just say, I completely understand. We all have experiences that shape us in a way that are, we all have experiences and it's all good. However, I can hear the division because of the experiences that you've had where you're like, we are sick and tired of this. Okay, well, we're going to have to shift the way that we look at things and how we deal with things in order for things to change. Otherwise, it's just going to create a bigger and bigger and bigger divide. And that's not the goal. That's not what we want. We got to talk about it and address it so that it could be better.
So my question to the ladies is, how many decisions are you going to make on your own?
But what you had said that I said, you said I said something.
I don't remember, lady.
I know, because you
remember
be talking that
they
shit.
all
You be
did
talking
say,
bullshit.
Hold on, wait. Listen.
Be coming out your mouth, shit.
How many?
Remember, they all said they'll sit their asses down, though.
Right,
everybody, it's crazy just to let go. Everybody says that until they're given the opportunity.
But he said this. But he said something.
And then
it was like, what the hell? I didn't even say this.
That's not true.
Wait. The thing is that they want to sit their ass down until they don't want to, and that's the problem.
But when is that?
You don't believe in anybody, bro? You don't have faith in nothing? Like, shit, bro.
I mean,
so you think your wife gonna leave you or something?
Right, like, what the hell, bro?
So the question is, I find it interesting that everybody is looking at me and saying, who hurt you, rather than actually listening to men, because I ain't the only one that said this on this.
I know you ain't saying.
But you didn't even listen to me. You said something that I didn't say.
I did say what you said. I just can't remember what you said.
No,
right now.
You said that. I said that I want to be. I want to do everything on my own.
Mr. Lego, let us have this.
Hold on, Miss Lego. You said
Ruth trying to speak too. You don't want to let her speak.
I said, you said that I said that I want to do everything on my own and I'm just gonna let her go. I'm like, when the hell did I
didn't say none of that.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I said that we're talking to grown women, and Mommy 3 said that she has everything. She's been doing it on her own. She got her own car, her own money. She's a grown-ass woman.
And what did I say after that? What did I say after that when I said I'm looking for? I said what I said.
All I'm simply saying is, why are we looking at y'all as children when y'all are fully capable adults?
So if a woman, now listen, if a woman have all those things, what can a man bring to her? Right? What can a man bring to her? If she have all those things, what are we looking for then? If we have all of these things, what are we looking for? We ain't looking for his money. We ain't looking for nothing. What are we looking for? What the whole topic is about. Protection, right?
Hold on, wait. No.
Protection. I want a man. I want to be able to be with someone that I can trust and protect me. I want that. I'm not trying to be out here with a gun every time I go to the gas station. I'm not trying to be like that for the rest of my life.
You don't think there's a man out there that will go to the gas station for you, that will pump your gas for you, that will jump for you?
Yeah.
So why is it so fucking hard to find?
But oh my God.
I'm just
every man is like this.
To say something too, but
go ahead.
Over her for the last.
Everybody said that there was.
We don't need you to moderate. She got it.
I just noticed that the women said they would do it for the right man. So we kind of knew what that means. Like, so I think that I had to come to a realization that almost every man is capable of killing somebody with their bare hands. So if you have a general trust for men in general, you can like try to find the trust in him and believe that he can handle certain situations. Just watch him before you just judge. Oh, you too small, you too short, you too skinny, you can't protect me. Their logic can protect us. Their logic keeps us out of trouble. And so if we can open up our possibilities, we'll find the right person.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you. Thank you, lady.
What you saying thank you when we just said the same
Oh, you didn't
shit?
say none of that shit.
Yes, we did. We said the same shit.
Say none of that shit.
Hold on. Well, tell me what she said different. Tell me what she said different.
She said
No, tell me what the hell she just said different. What I said. I didn't talk about the height or the weight of a damn man who would be in my life. I didn't say. So you think every man is supposed to be big and tall in order to protect a woman? To protect a woman?
Who said that?
But that's what she was just talking about. She was saying that you don't judge a man right off the bat. You don't know what kind of man can protect you. I didn't even speak on the physical part of a man.
Pause the energy real quick. I do want to transition into this next topic.
It's free to be talking bullshit, man.
I ain't say you said any of that, lady.
Yes,
no, I didn't.
All right, I'm gonna play this next clip about women being honest about preference. Hmm. 722.
But I'm just saying, in society now, the access to a woman is so easy. I think that's a problem.
With more power comes more responsibility. That's how it always goes. You know what I mean? They control the access to sex and to pregnancy and having babies and all that. So if you got that power, you're gonna be held more responsible.
But that's why I was 50-50 on it, because I think the big difference with Western women is they're just more honest.
There you go. Right. That was literally what I was gonna say.
In West Africa, for instance, there are a lot of kids who they think is their daddy isn't actually their daddy.
That shit out here too. Yeah.
They don't have the technology to do the DNA test and stuff like that. But I do think
that's crazy.
Yeah, no, this shit happens. But I do think like what we can do is encourage women to be more honest about their preferences, because like you talked about, like 54% of men don't have kids. That's not necessarily.
You don't think they're being honest?
I was just gonna say we are, and we getting bashed for it from some men. So I don't know.
Back in the day, it was one dude had a whole bunch of wives, and that's what it was. Women always gravitate to a small group of men.
Right.
It's just now they won't admit it. Right. They are polygamous, but they won't call it that. They'll rather say, "Oh, he's my boyfriend," knowing that he got 3 other women.
Oh, okay.
Versus back in the day, like. Yeah, so and so, he got money, he got clout in the community, he's got 5 wives. That's what it is. Powerful men have never had just one woman. But nowadays we have to pretend that that's who we are.
The crazy thing I don't think you're diving into is that the fact that even though all this stuff was happening, it was still a sense of respect of, not just having babies with everybody. Yeah. I think this shit is like spreading like COVID, you know what I'm saying? Every time you look at somebody,
they're not having babies with anybody. They still having babies with a select group of men. It's just that selection isn't based on quality anymore. Back then, it used to be,
and that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's just the way that they're vetting men these days. It seems
they're not.
They still are.
I love how they're talking like there's no way. I'm just waiting.
It's based on the wrong curriculum. Yeah. Like back then, it was his social standing. It was his projection in life, his economic value, if he was royalty, whatever the case may be. Now it's, oh, he the local drug dealer. Oh, he tall, he got potential, all kinds of bullshit. So that's the problem. It's not that a select group of men are having access. That's not new. It's who those select group of men are, because unfortunately, what I've been telling women is who you incentivize the procreation is who you're going to see more of.
But in that honesty that you called it, right? I don't think it's honesty. Some of it is just like following the trend.
No, I'm saying honesty compared to like women overseas,
right?
Like, just being unabashedly, I'm a hoe and I'm proud and shit like that. That's what I'm talking about.
But that's follow. I don't take that as. I just I can't take that as
saying
honesty.
that the women overseas want to.
I'm saying that,
or they do. Oh, they do, but they just. Oh, okay.
Let's go ahead and dive into a woman being honest about preference. I'm gonna go to you, Marcus. What are your thoughts about that, sir?
Bro, I don't know what the hell they was talking about, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think the women, for the most part, when they all right. So I think that there's a preference, and then what women will accept, right? I think they're pretty honest about their preference when you talk about 6'6", 6 feet, 6-pack, or 6 figures, right? I think they will ideally want that. But what they would accept, if you just say the preference is the only thing they'll date, then it becomes dishonest if you look at it from a way where you told me what you wanted and that's not what you'll date. I think that's like the dream woman for us. Like if you could pick a dream woman that's perfectly submissive, perfectly shaped, Coke bottle, perfect long hair, or if you like short hair, perfect eyes and all that stuff. But would you date somebody that doesn't fit specifically into that category? I think most people will, especially men, will be realistic and say, yeah, I'll date this person, or you can call it settling, but I would date this person, right? When we look at social media, most people are describing a very small group of men, and kind of a small group of women too, when they think about the look archetype and the body archetype. But most people end up dating people that are not like that. So I think there's a lot of skewing going on as far as the propaganda for what's acceptable versus what happens in reality. I do think that, I'll leave it there.
All right, go ahead, Ash.
Would you mind rephrasing the question? Because they kind of dabbled between two different topics. I wasn't sure if they were going to stick to like the whole polyamorous setup between the Western tradition and Africa, but now I'm just confused at what the question is.
So it wasn't just me. They were just babbling like, okay.
So we're focusing on women being honest about their preferences. Go ahead, Ruth. We'll come back to you guys.
I've seen it where women will get online and say they want this, they want 6 figures, they want this, they want that. But what they actually are dealing with at night is totally different. So they're doing it for I don't know if it's clout or they just want to, like, even me, like at first I was like, oh shoot, I need to get somebody with 6 figures. Like you will feel like, well, I'm settling because I wanted something more realistic. And so you have to kind of, like, once you see it, you got to kind of recognize your truth and not just make what everybody else is saying. It's like group thing. You got to make sure that you're not participating in that, because how can everybody get the same person? Y'all all different personalities and different places in life. Some women might need more guidance than others, and some, they just want a different kind of person. So I don't think they're being 100% honest. I don't think they know what they want because they're going by the wrong metrics when you should be going on character. And a lot of these, if you took money out, a lot of these guys would not make the cut.
I agree 100% with Ruth, what Ruth said. The main problem right now with the ladies is they're not being honest. And for me, I think my perspective is, I think the ladies aren't ready for what they're asking for. Like, okay, if you say you want a man with 8 to 10 figures or whatever, are you prepared to deal with his busy schedule? Are you stable enough to provide him the serenity for him to bring the food home to the table? Are you able to help manage his calendar? You know what I mean? You have to kind of put yourself in a place to to acquire the man that you're asking for, and be prepared for it. So I do agree. I don't think that they're being honest.
I just feel like if nobody would have a story to tell if everybody was sticking to their boundaries and preferences, it'd be plenty of times that we're thinking like, oh, I want this. Like, say I like chocolate man, this and that, and then a nice gentleman that's actually light skinned and he's well spoken and being a gentleman, then your preference kind of go out the window because this person is acting a little, different than your usual preference.
Go ahead, Sarah. I know you was agreeing with a lot that was heard.
I love everything that these ladies are saying, and I think that that's the problem, that most women go after their preference instead of their priority. And I think that we have to understand, as people, men are much more visual. You notice my friend on this side, that said visual, Coke bottle frame, long hair or short hair, if that's what you like, big eyes. Like, men are much more wired to be visual, whereas women are wired for safety and security. That is innate. And it's not, I think that it's almost arrogant for men when we say safety and security to mean that that only means money. No, when we say provision, that doesn't just mean monetary. That also means spiritual provision, mental provision, emotional provision, physical provision, right? Energetic provision. All of these things are important. And so for people that are listening, I think one of the things that I had to realize, even to pinpoint what's most important to me, is the core values. Are they in alignment? I know for me, my answer is safety, security, respect, emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, openness, and honesty. That's what I know that I need from my partner in order to feel like, ooh, we could take this to the moon and back. Like, we could grow whatever we need. We could build an empire with these core aligned values right over here. And I feel like when we get into a space where all we're thinking about is 6 feet, what is 6 feet gonna have to do with actually how you raise my children? You might give me tall kids, or tall boys, hopefully one day, but if it's got to be more than that. And again, this goes back to that divisive societal norms that shouldn't be normal. We're looking for the wrong thing. It's not about preference, it's about priority. What is the most important to you? What do you need out of your partner?
All right, go ahead, Trev.
All right. So I think the main issue is people just don't understand that the tangibles are what attracts you to a person, but it's the intangibles that are going to keep you with a person, right? So we love these physical attributes. We love this person having this type of money, and we're told that's what's going to make us happy, right? Because these are the metrics that men and women usually describe all the time. This is what they tell you, just like Marcus was saying, right? So, but if we understand what's going to keep us there, what's going to keep us sound, what's going to keep us grounded, what's going to be someone who's going to pour into us, it's always the intangibles, right? Do our personalities mesh? Do we have like values? Are we of the same faith, right? Can I be around this person for the rest of my life? Can I stand them, right? I'm going to be sleeping in the same bed for this person forever and they won't go away. Does that make sense to you, right? Those are realities that we have to think of. Do I enjoy just being around this person? Do I like to sit down and watch a movie with this person? Do we have common interest? These are the things that are going to keep you with the person. Now, it's understandable that you should make sure that you are with the person who's established because, in my personal opinion, a man should take care of the home and the finances, at least be mostly responsible for. So that's a given. So you need to make sure that you have a man who's going to be together along with what you have, that'll be able to provide the lifestyle that you want, right? And that's cool because it's supposed to be a balance. And once you have a balance in a relationship, that's what's going to work. You got to be the yin and the yang, period. So we do understand that a lot of times women make poor choices with this, and it's very easy for you to be confused. That's the word of the day, confusion, because you're told these things that you're supposed to want and you're supposed to be attracted to. And a lot of times that's never what's going to make you happy in the long term. And that's the main thing we need to look at. I'll leave it there for now.
Well, sweetie, that's your answer. You asked, well, why is it so hard to find? Trev just answered.
Because y'all make irrational decisions. Got it.
Yep.
What about the lying though? Because that's when we get past the physical and stuff like that, like the lying. You have, like she said, you have to look at the spiritual and the connection and all that, because when people can easily lie about their monetary and anything else outside of that. So
well, I would say to answer to that is you got to have requirements and standards up front, so a man won't feel, because a lot of times if a man is like a liar, he don't want to go through a whole bunch of stuff. So if you turn around and say, "Hey, this is what I require at some point," and I'm not saying money, I mean like commitment. Like as an example, as a woman, if you turn around and say, "Hey, I just want you to know I don't have casual sex. The only time I have sex is when I'm actually in a committed relationship." He gonna go on about his business, but he may lie and say, "Well, I want to be with you," But at that point, the lie is so early where he's going to get tired of lying super early because he started lying so early. You know what I mean? But the more requirements like that and standards you put up front, and you can have your requirements and standards, as long as you ain't all crazy with it. Most likely the liars want easy prey. So a liar is going to be like, I ain't got time for that shit. She got too many obstacles. It's like when I was younger, dating a girl with a dad, it was like hell no, because back in the day you got to call the girl phone and the dude, hello, who is it? Man, I ain't got time for all this shit. Yeah. So back when I was young, the last thing I wanted was a girl with a whole bunch of obstacles, like a dad in the damn home, because he gonna answer the goddamn phone. I ain't got time for all this shit. So yeah.
Go ahead, Sweeney.
I'll go last, bro.
I think everybody else went, right?
No, not on this particular.
Well, I actually didn't go. I was waiting.
Okay, go ahead. We'll go to Mark. I'll come back to let go. Go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing that so it's really hard for men to understand the intangibles that women be speaking about when they talk about their preferences, because you might not fit the looks requirement, you might not even fit the income requirement, but the way you approach her and treat her from the stance of truthfulness, or the way you carry yourself and your humor, may take you over the threshold of all the things that you fail to provide that she would outwardly say, and she could still be in love with you based off of that. But men a lot of times want to cut and dry. You do A, you get B, you get C formula. And the thing about women is they don't operate like that. They exist in this space that's an amalgamation of ideas, feelings, and beings. And as soon as you can understand that, then you can navigate it effectively. It may not sound like it's ideal, you may not like that it's like that, but this is how women are. And the sooner you understand that concept, you won't look for a rigid path to getting women to the state that you want them to be. So like when they talked about security earlier, my sister is giving, she said security isn't just money, right? A lot of men, I'm sure, shrugged and said, hell no, we know what security is, it's just money. But when I was talking about it earlier, that's why I said the importance of telling somebody the truth to get them a choice to stay or leave. That's a form of security, because emotionally they feel protected by having the autonomy to stay or leave within that situation. They also feel secure because they could trust your words. Like, trust is probably the most important cornerstone of a successful relationship. And you would be surprised. Like an old head told me before, he was like, you don't have to lie to women. If they like you enough, they'll lie to themselves. So you don't have to lie about nothing. She just has to like you.
Yeah.
And that does not require you to be 6'5", 6'6", and have $1 million in the bank. It's so many intangibles. And instead of being upset about women operating like that, a lot of men should be extremely happy that they operate like that. Because if they were as cut and dry as they claim to be on the internet with 6'6", 95% of men will not qualify. So it's not a flaw, it's the feature. Most of the time, the men that I see have problems with women refuse to understand some basic key things about women and want to equate us and operate the same way. As long as you have that mindset where I'm going to judge them based on the way I view things as a man and hold them to that same standard, you will repeatedly fail. I promise you, you will repeatedly fail.
Marcus, no group of people understand that more than men. That is almost, if you go into any of these spaces, the first thing men say is that the masculinity and protection ain't only about finances. You hear that almost 90% of the time when men are talking. No group understands that concept more than men. See, when y'all talk, y'all largely ignore the data. Dating app says different. When women are polled, it says different. When you look on dating apps and only and a majority of the men are being overlooked, that ain't got shit to do with whether the man can provide protection or love or protection of our heart or any of that. The only thing they're going off of is how that nigga look and what his profile says. And they swiping right or swiping left. We talk about when women were asked, they actually polled women and asked them if a man was 80% of what you needed, would you deal with that? And most of them said no. When they asked men the same question, every last one of them, most of them was like, yeah, I could deal with that. I could sit on that. I could settle for that. So we largely ignore how women behave in real time, in real life. And that's what all these men are basing it off of. They're not basing it off of their feelings. They're basing it literally off of how women are behaving.
So Sweeney, like using the dating example app, right? There's some men who, if you look at them in a dating app as a woman, he's never gonna get a date ever in life. Some men require to be in person so their personality can shine. It's hard to capture that with a with just a photograph or 3 or 4 photographs. There's some people who need to be introduced in a friendship type of circle where people just be around you and be like, you know what, this dude kind of cool, and they grow on them. Because the way we look at women, it's rare for a woman to be extremely unattractive. She just grow on us and we date her, but that works for them sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's just differences in how we equate things. But if we want to like hold them to the dating standard, it's how we view that. Like, I'm not attracted to none of these women, so if I swiped on them, I wouldn't date them because I wouldn't hit. They don't view things like that in real life. When they go into the dating app, they may like, I'm not attracted, I'm not attracted, I'm not attracted. But the last 20 dudes that they passed by, they caught him at a brunch, and he was smooth as hell. He was funny as hell. He had great energy. The vibe was there. They down there in love. Like, girl, I just met this man that XYZ. It's just different. We just got to accept it and understand how to navigate through that. And I know we say we accept it, but if we did, man, we wouldn't complain about it because it's not that hard of a concept. It's just a foreign concept.
It's not foreign to men, bro. We know.
Hold on, Sweeney.
Hold on, bro. Mr. Lego, let us have this.
Go ahead.
It's not foreign to men. They know. The problem is that we know that dating apps is how most people are dating today. It's not. That's how most people are interacting. Women, you even hear women say every day, men aren't approaching anymore. We've heard it last week, the week before. Women have been talking about men not approaching in person for a long time. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw this. You remember that video where the ladies was doing that? It was like a dating night thing or like a singles night or something like that. And all the women showed up and there wasn't no man in the room. And then the men slowly showed up later on. Like, we have to understand that this is how people are moving today. So what you have to, I would say that the best advice to give to people is give people a chance. Look beyond the picture because that's the reality. You
that's a dating app. That's all you can do.
Sweeney,
it's a dating app.
Hold on, Sweeney. Even though I understand what you're saying, but that is not life. Okay. Dating apps is not fucking life. Okay. It's stupid. There's nothing wrong with dating apps, but depending on dating apps or looking at just a life of dating, being on dating apps is idiotic. Okay. These dudes on dating apps, hopefully they're just looking for women to just knock down. They're not looking for no goddamn relationship. Because if they are, like, something's wrong with them. Because altogether, like, as a man, you have to, and I understand the way life is, but it's gay the way life is. And that's what I'm trying to say. Men have to be able to move in a room full of sharks, and a woman needs to be able to observe how he moves through a room, how he converses with other men, how he converses with women, what he does when nobody's talking to him. Does he sit around in his phone? Does he go in a corner? Does he stand in the middle of the floor? Does he know people in the room? How a man operates in a room is very important. How a man operates just in the world is very important. Now, this dating app bullshit, you can't see that. So just like the ladies are saying, no, Marcus said it. A woman needs to know if a man is funny, how man walks, how he operates, like just a lot of different mannerisms. But if all these dudes are just on dating apps, they don't deserve a woman because they're either lazy as hell or they don't go outside ever to be able to meet a woman, and they don't deserve a woman. It's like hunting. If you don't get out your house and grab a shotgun and shoot something, you just gonna die. And that's kind of like how life needs to be. So for these dudes who are just depending on dating apps, they're gay, half gay.
Now all these men are gay.
I'm just saying shit.
No,
I say the word.
I would appreciate.
This a dating app. I'm on a dating app.
Gay is
I'm on a
different to
dating
me.
app.
The
Hold
word
on,
gay
Mr.
is different to me. Just so you know.
Mr. Lego, I'm on a dating app, so I just need to give his goofy ass a chance. I need to go meet him in person.
But
real quick.
Mommy, real talk though. I don't know the dude or nothing like that. I don't know who he is.
But I'm just saying, like,
it's a dating app.
Mommy,
but I'm just saying, it's a dating app.
Mommy 3,
Hold
listen,
on, Miss Lego. Just let me say this.
If you meet him in person and he was actually cool as fuck, you would probably give him a chance. That's what I'm saying. When you
But let me say this.
Go ahead.
But the thing that a lot of people got to understand when it comes to dating apps, men like everything until they get a good hit. Men will like, how many likes I got? 49
Forget
hits.
about dating apps though.
I'm just, no. Listen to me. I'm telling you that people don't take dating apps seriously because
That's what I
men
said.
like everything. No, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay,
Men will heart every woman until he get a response. So that's why women are more cautious when it comes down to dating apps because he done liked everybody. And
That's
9 times out of
exactly what I'm
10, the fine man, he done got hits too. So it's like a dog eat dog world. So when it comes to dating apps, all you can look at is the looks and what they put on their profile. What else
Right.
can you? I can't see your personality through a fucking dating app.
So it's literally counterintuitive, is all I'm saying.
So
Go out and meet people in person.
Yes.
Go out.
If you
Get
had
off the dating apps.
If you had a business and one way of generating leads is not working, you need to have like 6 different ways in order to pull it. So dating apps, men, they need to do the work and go ahead and meet people in real life.
Right.
And if you stuck on a dating app as a man, you don't deserve no woman. Because I don't say the word gay as in LGBT. It's just some old school shit. The shit is gay. Okay. It's that means unfavorable, unsavory.
That's literally not what gay means.
Well, I use gay as
I need you to start getting your words correct, bro.
Gay. These niggas is gay.
You know what you're calling them gay for. I don't know why you're trying to dance
got
around.
you.
Like,
Let it go.
Niggas is
We
gay.
got you.
All right,
We got you on
we're gonna
there.
go ahead and close this topic off with Day West. Go ahead, Day West.
I was just listening to everybody. Okay. So we're talking about dating apps. Yeah, you caught me off guard.
Okay, well, go ahead and pull this together, man. We're going to get into the main topic then. I'm not gonna understand what Sweeney's saying because there are some people that do take it serious, but I also understand what Mr. Lego's saying too. Because he comes from a different generation. I think the new. I was talking.
Oh my bad.
Y'all do know that dating.
You don't see that on a dating app.
Y'all do know that dating app is basically
I'm joking.
Oh, wait. I just wanted to say this. Y'all do know that dating apps is literally just a physical version of how people actually think in real life. So
can you elaborate? What you mean?
When a woman swipes left and swipe right, she does that in her head innately when she's in a club or out and about. She immediately, when she sees a guy, she knows whether she wants to deal with him or not. She swipe left and she swipe right on him. Right
but
there.
Moving and talking is a little bit different.
But that still doesn't matter. Because you still got pictures, you still got videos you can go off of, you still got his post off of that, because you do know that the #1 dating app in the country is actually Instagram.
I'm just talking about dating. I'm just talking about dating apps.
Well, the #1 dating app is Instagram, and they also pull data as well.
Understood.
So when we
do I have permission?
Day West. Let's take a deep breath.
It's my turn.
Hello?
We talked about the same thing.
No. No, you gotta take it easy now. This is the first time on here. All right. We don't want to do no over talking, but just go ahead and finish gathering your thoughts. Let Sweeney finish, and then we're gonna go ahead and move the show accordingly, okay?
No, she good. Go ahead, Dave.
I don't even want to talk no more.
No, you're good.
Oh my God.
Hold on, Mr.
I don't even want to talk no more. Don't do that.
Chill, bro. Because she was actually saying something. I think it paused on her, so she kind of like it stuck her up, and it just got quiet, and I started talking. So she was saying something.
I want to hear what she got to say. Come on, Day West. What you about to say? I want to hear.
I was going to say it's about the in either way, it's about the approach. Like as soon as you match and that person hop in your inbox, it's about the approach. They can say the same thing that the other people say, or they can get your attention by saying something they paid attention to on your profile, or just like, you know, whatever approach they come up with, even in person. Like the same thing, how they approach you. Every guy gonna approach you a different type of way. Either you're gonna accept it or you're not. It's about the approach, and you can move on from that.
I just like to hunt. I'm sorry. I like to get out and I get up in the trees and hunt. Like I like to run up on women. Like not run up on women, but walk up on women. Like I don't care.
Buy tires and eat ass, bro. That's how you hunt. Be quiet. Ain't nobody trying to hear your strategies. This nigga sat here and solicited booty on the other day live on camera. That's how he hunt, man. Get the fuck out of here.
First of all, I wasn't soliciting booty, but it's still interactions. It's still interacting though. We're moving, we're talking. It's not a dating app. It's still moving and talking. It's a little different.
All right, let's go to get to this main topic, man. Get into this main topic. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I get to the super chats on the back end. We'll go and get to the main topic of the night, which is this true about? What's wrong? Is this true about a divine feminine woman brings to the table in a relationship? I'm going to go ahead and play this clip.
Number one, it's a super toxic question to ask in the first place when a man is saying, what do you bring to the table? I really, in my heart of hearts, feel like a lot of women can't even articulate it, because although there are tangible things that we bring to the table, there's a lot of intangible things that a divine feminine woman brings to the table. There's something about an energy. When you get around a certain type of woman, that woman's energy makes you want to be more, do more, have more, just in the very essence of having her around. And mostly because that woman understands how to operate around that man. What I mean by that is, you know, there's a lot of women, especially in today's society, that are trying to tell their men, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Stop telling that man what to do and start planting seeds so he can feel good when he's doing it, when he's doing the leadership, when he's winning and doing all those things, and you celebrate him like it was his idea. And some people may call it manipulative, and in a sense it is. However, it's for the greater good of the colony. And I think that when a woman is in her divine feminine and understands how a man operates, and a man can be by the way, I do have to say this, feminine does not mean female and masculine does not mean male. They are not genders, they are energies, and we all have both. But I'm talking about there's a divine masculine and there's a divine feminine. And when you can really, you know, move and shake in that yin and yang, it is magical.
All right, let's go and get into it. Is this true about having a divine feminine woman brings to the table in a relationship? We'll go ahead and start with you, Sarah, and elaborate on this.
Okay. Where do I even start?
I'm interested to hear this one. Well, I know, Sarah, that was you in the video. But I'm interested to see what the women got to say about this one.
Yeah, so which part should I speak to? Because I feel like the part where a lot of people are misconstruing or misunderstanding or very passionately agreeing with is the planting seeds portion. Or do you want me to talk about divine feminine and divine?
Just talk about it all, because I know when people see clips, they don't really get everything in its entirety. So whatever needs to be clarified or explained a little bit more, feel free to do so.
Yeah, so I think that there are we as women, it's challenging to articulate something that we may not understand as an energy. But when you're inside of your divine feminine, There is literally something about that energy that makes you want to be more, do more, or have more. It's the same way like when we were kids and our mom and our dad gave us that look and you knew to like stop doing what you're doing. It's the same way when you're in a sport and you have that coach that you really look up to and they tell you to push harder and you push harder. There are just certain people, which is everyone, by the way, but not everyone chooses to tap in. But the people that choose to tap in to that divine energy, both masculine and feminine, there's something about that energy that just makes you want to go harder, do more, be more, have more. And so, inside of that, I think that one of the roles as divine feminine is to plant seeds for a divine masculine man. So, what I mean by that is in the video, I said it. I mean, a lot of women are quick to tell their man, oh, you need to be this way, you need to be doing that. That's not effective for a man because we have to remember men have egos, right? And we can try to play against like it doesn't exist or, you know, a man is that he's got it all together. Well, he doesn't. The truth is women see things far differently than men do. And men are the brute, they're the strength, they're the mastermind, they're the a lot of the different things. But when you partner that with divine energy, when you partner that with a woman that knows that there's a bump coming in the road that's, you know, 5 miles up and it's like, hey, do you remember where that bump was? Even just asking the question, which is going to put it on the top of his mind. So then he gets to be like, oh, yeah, it's coming up and he gets to avoid that bump so we don't hit it. It's a completely different ball game. And that's why I'm saying it's not necessarily manipulation, inspiration, motivation, whatever you want to call it. It's an energy that makes that person aware of something that they weren't aware of before. And the thing about planting seeds is what's beautiful about it is when you plant a seed, you don't know whether it'll grow or not. It's really up to the seed in the dirt. You can water it, you can give it all the sunlight, but if that plant doesn't grow, it doesn't grow. But it's usually and always for the greater good of the colony, of the family, of what it is that y'all are building.
All right, I know Sweeney said one here for the women. Go ahead, Ruth. What are your thoughts about it, man?
Divine femininity, it goes into like women have to understand men, so I agree. If you understand what a man needs, you know that his top thing is respect. So you're going to be respectful. If you know when to speak up, if you know when to back down, if you know how to get out of your own way, because we are a certain way as women. And, you know, sometimes we get irritable or anxious or a certain kind of way. And then we have to learn how to communicate that without giving him those behaviors. So you really got to check yourself as a woman and then translate it for him to get it and help for him to understand. It's like you're speaking two different languages. So translate it so he can understand it. I know that if a woman is in her feminine energy and she's soft, that it can change a man's heart about how he, you know, maybe feel about something, or maybe he could see things her way a lot more farther. She can get further with that energy versus just telling him what to do. I don't think you should tell him what to do. I think you should just, you know, speak up for yourself, say what you want. Don't be completely silent. They can't read your mind, but say it and like suggest it, communicate and see what he does. A lot of times we just gotta put it out there and see what he does and go from there.
All right, I'm gonna go to Ash and then I'm gonna go to Trev because Trev got this grin on his face. I'm just curious as to where it's coming from. Go ahead, Ash. Day West, I'm gonna see you that clip on your IG. You see the clip?
I would humbly say that when you are operating in your divine feminine energy, you are providing a sacred space for a man to operate in his divine masculinity. I can sense where Miss Sarah was going. I do believe that when you are thriving in your feminine energy, like it automatically creates the man to be vulnerable and allow him to be vulnerable. And I also believe that you should, how do I find the words to say? I believe that you should hold yourself to a certain standard because it starts from within when you are when you are aligning yourself with these energies that you're asking for, I also believe that in this time and space, it's most about communication and like we were speaking in another topic, building trust within yourself in order to allow yourself to have trust for a man and operate in your highest self.
Okay. Go ahead, Mommy 3. I got you, Trev.
I'm just gonna. I feel like it depends on how you was raised. I feel like it should be common sense on how you should act. Especially when it comes down to being with your man. Like I don't know. I feel like it's common sense. Like to me, it's common sense on how I was raised and how a man's supposed to be treated. I don't know. I just feel like it's crazy on how people have to. Well, people got to talk about like cooking, like what's a woman role, cooking and all that type of shit. I just feel like all that shit should be just common sense to me. How to act, not tell a man, because I wouldn't tell my brother this how you should do things. I wouldn't tell my dad this how you need to do this. I wouldn't talk to them like that. So I most definitely would not talk to my man like that. Now, when it comes down to a man on the street, or like I'm a man just up and disrespect me without me like disrespecting him in that way, that's a whole nother story. Like when it comes down to that, I feel like respect goes both ways. If I talk to you with respect, I feel like I deserve that same type of respect. But in most cases, I would have to let a man know, like I can I can break out of that, or I just tell a man like, look, I got some people that come and knock your ass out. But
Ain't nobody got time for that.
when it comes down to like just respecting your man, not telling your man what to do, talking to him like a kid, I feel like that's how that relationship started. You started off with this little poogie that he had to drive your car, you got to tell him what to do. And I feel like a woman that just have a man's man, and she have that protection, she is not gonna talk to that man like that. She is not gonna belittle that man. She's not. If y'all wife like that or a woman like that, then it tells a lot about the man. If I see a woman disrespecting her man, it I'm looking at this man like, what the hell? It ain't even about the woman no more. I'm trying to figure out why your woman arguing with you in public. I'm looking at the nigga. Like, what kind of man are you to allow a woman to go off on you, or to disrespect you in public, or to talk loud and act this way? Now I'm looking at, how are you really chose this woman? And then half of the time it be husband and wife. The wife just embarrassing him about a return in the store, just embarrassing this man. He just got his head down, looking like a dumbass. So I'm looking at the man. If I see a woman disrespecting her husband or her man in public, that's what it is. I'm gonna look at the man like, that's what you allowed and that's what you want.
So can I go?
Hold on. Let me get Day West in there. And I'll go to you, let go. Day West, go ahead.
Well, to me, being a divine woman, I feel like goes hand in hand with being submissive, respecting yourself and others, around you. Because if you're dating someone or with someone, you don't want to hurt that individual by saying anything to them that would hurt them. So it's better to like breathe and come back to the topic. Communication is a big thing when it comes to being divine, in my opinion.
Okay. All right, we'll go to listen. Let go.
All right. So as far as just the divine feminine, like I said before, it has to be in your bones. And a lot of women have been traumatized to the point where at some point she's going to act up. And to fix that, or to deal with that, it's almost like it's just about anything, right? When you're in a relationship, you can't flirt with nobody else, you can't have sex with nobody else, right? So If you're on a diet, you can't eat honey buns and all the dumb shit that you're supposed to eat because you're on a diet. So when you're with a man, you have to treat your trauma like the same way. So it's like rejecting your own flesh. So with women, if you are dating a guy and he starts doing something or making a decision for both of you that you don't agree with, in the beginning stages, you got to let him make the decision, because one, his decision may be better than what you had in your mind. But if you start barking at him or talking about him and try to correct him like he's a little boy, because some of y'all, just like Mommy 3 Love said, some of y'all are used to dating losers, or y'all baby daddies was a loser, and you had to tell him what to do every time he started veering off to the left or the right, and you didn't even trust what he thought because you dated a stupid man, right? So when you get with a man that you actually want to stay within your feminine, you just sit back and just watch him. And I say this a lot. You gotta allow the man that you chose to drive y'all into a ditch. And the reason why is because you want to see, one, why he drove you into the ditch. Is he incompetent? Is he stupid? And then two, can he get y'all out of the ditch? Because people make mistakes. Can he get you out of it? Is he like capable of fixing something that he fucked up? And if he can't, well, you have two examples. One, he drove you in a ditch. Two, he can't get you out of the ditch. Because the thing about it is, you can drive y'all into a ditch. Can he get you out of some shit that you did? So the thing about it is, you got to see what a man is capable of. And the second part of what I tell women that I coach is to be a cat. When a man walks in the house, and this is just divine feminine. When a man walks in the house, a dog is all in your face and shit. Don't do that. The cat is just sitting on the windowsill. Don't even recognize that you walked in the house. Don't even give a fuck. Let that man just move and just, fix him something to eat or whatever, fix him a sandwich or whatever, and get out of his way so he can calm down and deal with whatever he went through in a day. And just like a cat does, at some point, the cat will just walk up, sit on the man's lap, purr, and then everything's good. But what does a dog do? The dog is running around in circles because it's happy the owner done came home, is barking and shit. And then when you actually, when it comes to something going wrong in your house, what does the dog do? The dog hears something outside. The dog is barking all loud and shit. Does the cat do that if it hears something outside? No, because guess what? The cat isn't the protector. As a woman, you ain't protecting shit when you are with a man. You shut the fuck up, even if some crazy shit happens. You sit back and be like, because you got to observe him and see if he can protect you. If a woman or a man, we talked about this, I think, Mommy 3, if a woman or a man y'all are outside somewhere and a woman gets in your face, you give it to the man. See how he handles a woman. Don't sit here and say, well, she's a woman, I got to defend myself. Nope. When you with the man, you shut the fuck up in every scenario, even if a woman gets in your face. Let your man deal with the woman, because this is your opportunity to observe how he operates out in the world. How does he deal with a woman? Does he cuss her out? Does he, bitch, get out my girl face? Or does he have the ability to negotiate and just delegate everything where nothing happens?
So I had to choose myself. Because care of yourself is self-care.
You gotta stand on business.
That's how Mr. Let Go sounded for that whole.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That's how Mr. Let Go sounded. He drove this conversation into a ditch. What the hell are you talking about?
All right, go ahead. I don't know if Trev or Sweeney, whichever one of y'all want to go.
I'll go first. I'm not even gonna be long because I know
we already know both of y'all gonna say
I know what Sweeney. Yeah, so pretty much, JR, you did this on purpose, didn't you? Right? You just walked them like right off a cliff. Listen, you know what I need you to do? You want a viral clip? I need you to take the first stream, play everybody's response, and then take this part right here and play everybody's response. Viral clip, done deal. Like, how is it? I heard some serious double talking. I mean, a lot of double talking. I'm talking about like Mr. Letgo levels of double talking we just heard right now, right? How everybody all of a sudden, y'all made me look like y'all was looking at me like I had two heads right now when I was talking about coming in feminine, right? And then now everybody just explained the importance of coming in feminine. What the hell are we even doing? What are we doing? How? Like, okay, does what I said in the first stream now make sense like to y'all? Like, I guess it does because you all are in total agreement. I'll just keep it right there. Sweeney, I know you want to go ahead and do it.
No, bro, you got it, man. You caught it. I just want to make sure that you caught it just like I caught it.
And I help y'all put together the
we don't need you to. We don't need you to.
Hold on, Miss Lego. But given, did you say before that clip even played what you said about being masculine and feminine? You said that it has what gender, right?
No gender.
You said. You're on mute.
You see this double talk, back talk, but
I never say that. I never said that.
No, she said that. I said Given said that. She said that before the clip even played. Like when she explained it, she talked about that. So that's what I'm trying to figure out what y'all talking about.
Well,
I think y'all so excited to just be right.
She had said
like
that already.
Y'all just start laughing about, and y'all don't even know what the hell y'all talking about.
Actually, we do. Just because it went over your bald ass head doesn't mean that it went over ours.
I won't give it to explain this thing again.
She don't need to explain. She hit it right on the head. If y'all missed it,
no, but she said it. No, she said it twice. And y'all missed it. She said that twice. She said it when she explained it.
I think you're muted or something.
Given. Yeah.
We can't hear.
You gotta go back out.
That's what I'm like. She already said that 2 times.
If we got a phone call, then it probably interrupted the audio. So just
come out and go back in, I guess. Yeah.
That's why I was like, she said the same thing twice. She said that when she first got on, she explained that that's what she feels like. It's two different things and staying in that, but it still has no role to her. That's what she said. And that's what she said in the video. So you agree with that part, right?
No, y'all missed it.
So what you?
It's all good.
So you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, boom. Thank you. Okay, so literally, yes, we all have both. And nowhere did I say that women should not be inside of their divine feminine. What I said was that men get to have more compassion for women that are more inside of their masculine because the world makes all of us that way. Because we all have masculine traits and feminine traits. It's not a gender, it's an energy, right? So even inside of and I practice what I preach. Okay, when we talking about options and all the things, I definitely practice what I preach. I believe that feminine is what wins. I believe that a part of being feminine is to seek the desire before it's expressed. I believe that what's a part of feminine is to understand that men have more responsibilities as far as achievement goes. But I also know, and I wonder, this is a question really for you men, do you know the responsibilities that we have as women? Because men are really judged on how much money they make. Women are judged on how they look, how we raise our children, how are we bums or not? Like and you don't have to make a ton of money being a woman, but literally we have a higher rated metric, which isn't really fair. So I say all of that to say that being in your divine feminine works. Okay, you want whoever it is that you want, through whatever it is that you want, the type of man that you want, you can get whatever kind of man that you desire when you are inside of your divine feminine. I was just saying for most people that date, in the realm of most people, that if they're in their masculine, it's because they're probably in survival mode. And if you're surviving, you've got to get through some things. And if you're getting through some things, can you have compassion for that woman to trust your lead when all she's ever known is how to follow her own?
And Trev, let me just say this to Trev. Trev, you jumped up and was like, this is what I was saying. Da, 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 da. Well, that's the reason why these are two different conversations, right? The first aspect of the conversation was about how can a woman stay feminine when they are out in the world, blah, 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 as single people, right? Then now we're talking about a different aspect of femininity when she brought up divine femininity. So I'm now simply talking about the subject of femininity, not femininity versus masculinity, but straight up femininity. And I started off by saying it's about rejecting your flesh because you're going to feel anxious about a man's decision and you're going to feel the need to turn around and be masculine and say, wait, no, let's do this instead. No, we're going left and you need to shut the fuck up and just go left. And if left is wrong, sit back and see, okay, can he fix it? So it says stay feminine. Wow, because the key to this part is to see if he can protect you. So like I said, rejecting your flesh, meaning you're going to feel compelled to be masculine due to your trauma, but reject your flesh so you can give this man an opportunity to either show you that he's trash or show you that he actually can protect you.
Hold on, let me let Ash get in there. Go Ash. You on mute just so you know.
Doesn't this open the conversation where the topic surrounds around, well, and I can't speak for men, but like men don't really want to save women. Like they'll have compassion in regards to, okay, I want to see you in a better position for yourself, but do men really at the end of the day be like, okay, because at the end of the day, like I remember being told, okay, well, sometimes if all I know is trash, right? And a man comes in my life and he's the perfect gentleman, that sometimes is the hardest relationship because it's kind of like an uphill battle. I have not, and it all.
What is the battle?
Say it again.
What is the battle? You said uphill battle. What's the battle?
It's
the rejecting of your flesh. That part, like you want to take over. What do you mean?
Yeah. No, that's not the uphill battle. What I'm saying is, it has to be a certain concrete level of healing done on the women's side as well as the men's side. But I'm speaking from women because yes, a man will have compassion, a man will date you. However, nobody, man or women, nobody really wants to be kind of the first person that has ever treated you right. Yeah, it'll kind of work out for a little while, but I'm just speaking from my perspective, I don't think it turns out too smoothly. Like it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of self-determination to make that type of situation work.
Sarah?
Go ahead, Sarah.
This actually brings up a question for me because I love the question that you're asking, Ash. And for me, what's coming up is I know a lot of men. I have a very affluent circle, and I know a lot of men that love women that need them because men want to be needed, right? And a lot of the times, women that are successful struggle to make their man feel needed. It's like this thing where it's like, and I don't understand it. I've heard someone say, why is it that you can submit to your boss at work, but you can't submit to your man? Somebody else put him into the position, but we put our man into the position, which goes back into trusting ourselves. So for me, I've seen a lot of men that love the woman that really doesn't have much going on for herself, where they love to save her, because the truth is at our core, us as women, we want safety, security. So when that man is showing up as our first person that ever treated us right, and they're paying the bills and they're doing this, or they're taking us on trips or whatever it is that they do, that in itself is going to be the thing that the woman's like, oh, he can take care of me, which then makes her treat him like he's needed, like he's wanted, like he's desired. So I guess I'm just curious on.
Now, I have a question. Well, not a question, but a supporting statement. I agree with you 100%. What I will say is that you can give the man the notion of feeling needed, of feeling like he is the alpha male, and feeling as if he is stern in his position in masculinity, and still have, I don't want to use the word coof, but a certain level of self-proclamation where I am this level of stable before I allow you to come in and assist me. Because at the end of the day, like, you don't want to have to depend on anyone. Like, yes, you should be able to depend on your man, of course. But what I'm saying is, if I am depending on you to make sure I have water at the end of the day, and I, as a woman, didn't equip myself to be able to get the water, I'm not saying I'm not going to let you do it. What I'm saying is, if I don't have that capability within myself, yeah, you can show me, but then I'm just your dependent, is what I'm trying to get across.
Well, to a certain degree,
Hold on.
I don't really get what you're saying. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Wes.
I just want to say, like, besides like the back and forth, like masculinity, femininity, is what we can do for this person, what we can do for that person, and in order for a woman to even fully be tapped into her full divine feminine, is to love and care for yourself before anything. You have to love yourself before you can do anything for anybody else.
Can I just say, I love that. I could not agree with you more, D-West, and that I think that loving yourself doesn't equate to making a certain amount of money. And what I'm hearing, and I hear it a lot in today's society, is yes, women, we need to have something going on for ourselves. Hell, I got a lot going on for myself as far as monetary success goes. However, that's not what I lead with, nor what I talk about. Look at me as a you know, I lead me. You know what I mean?
Damsel in distress.
Would you say?
Damsel in distress.
No, I don't think damsel in distress, because I don't think I'm not looking to be saved. I'm looking to be led. So I want you to know that I have a destination in mind, and I'm looking for, do you have the same destination, and are we going to get on this journey together? Like, yes, I can carry my own, but if you want to carry me, we could do that too. So just going back to the question of what Ash said, is I think that it's really important for us as women to get that chip off our shoulder of where we feel like we have to prove or we have to be at a certain point. Yes, it's great to have something going on for yourself, but a man is a masculine man. Now, let me be clear. A masculine energied man is not going to choose you based on how much money you bring to the table. It's just not going to happen, because masculine energy wants to solve problems. Masculine energy that loves you, that is. So I think that it's important to, you know, don't count yourself out from what it is that you want in a relationship. If you want that man that makes more than you, the same as you, or less than you, whatever it may be, just get clear on what works for you and then go after that. But I don't think it doesn't make any sense for women to be like, oh, I don't want to depend on anyone. Well, you don't depend on them inside of a relationship. Have something going on for yourself. Develop a skill. Get in e-com. Sell a book. Write a book. Start a course. Whatever it is, there's always, money is the easiest thing, but character is far more challenging. So when you find someone that's aligned in that, go all in. My mom and my dad said, you know, what if it's the most epic love story? Yeah, you could crash, you could burn, you get heartbroken, you know, it hurts, but then you bounce back. Or what if it's the most epic love story that was ever written?
Hold on, for anybody else go, I gotta get Marcus in there, but before I do, and I'm glad you said that, Sarah, because this comes up quite often as far as when a woman has a destination and she's looking for a husband. Mm-hmm. And what if the husband's plan is a little bit differently? Then how do you come to terms with that? Do you take a detour and come back to your destination? Is it a joint destination that you guys come together to create? How does that work?
I think it depends. I think that if the vision, and this is the thing, the destination may change. How you get there is what's important, right? It might be like we planned on going to New York, but there was a snowstorm. Switch, let's do a trip to California or whatever it may be. If your vision is aligned and the mission, because remember, when we think of submit, like we're submitting to our husbands, submit means submitting, being under a mission. Mit means mission, right? So if I'm under the mission, which I believe I'm submitted to my husband is submitted to God, I'm submitted to the God in me that's submitted to the God in him. If that's what the submission is, and the mission just looks like a little bit different than I thought it was, anybody that's ever been successful in anything knows it never looks like what we thought it would. It's always better. You know what I mean? It's around the same idea, but it changes. So are you malleable and flexible in the way that you do things? I don't think there's a perfect way to have your life set. Hell, I've been engaged 2.5 times. So, I've thought I've known every single time. And what I'm realizing is the more that I know, and I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into seminars, into books, into retreats, into masterminds, into all of the things. And what I learned is the more that I know, the more I know I don't know anything.
Okay, we got to get to Marcus before anybody else go. Go ahead, Marcus.
I love what you've been saying, Sarah, because what you just described is the Dunning-Kruger effect, where the people who know the least are the most vocal and yell it to a tree from a treetop, seeming to be very informed because they have no understanding of what they don't know. The people who actually understand more than the people who are the loudest are quiet because they realize, they're not proficient. And then the people who are extremely knowledgeable tend to speak with apprehension because they know what you just said. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. It's ironic, but that's how social media works. I think the issue that we're running into, in my opinion, is about tangible and intangible, and the way that we understand reward systems or measurement systems for those things. And a lot of people are analytical thinkers. So to quantify the benefit of energy or energy exchange becomes extremely difficult without specialized fields, specialized machines, and all these things that could produce a scientific result. So they could say, hey, this is what I got. It's tangible, palpable, and I could put it on paper and take it to the bank. Yeah. When it comes to interpersonal energy exchange, it's like, I think one of the best words for it is maybe je ne sais quoi, right? It's how to explain the unexplainable. Because that's kind of where we left in trying to I guess mine out what the actual formula for understanding energy and how to make people coincide together. But it becomes even harder if there's no reverence for a belief in a greater being, a God, or some type of spiritual connection, because a lot of this stuff that we're speaking about, again, like God or these things, they exist in a realm that you can't easily quantify, right? And the people who tend to have a stronger spiritual connection, it's easier for them to make the crossover into understanding exactly what the benefit of what a woman brings to the table without it needing to be a tangible, I do X, Y, Z. You can exist and radiate or feel the radiation of that energy. I think another thing, when you use the word manipulation, I smile because you understand that that it's not all manipulation isn't bad. There's positive and negative manipulation, right? Yeah. So a word that I found for it was contravance. That's a version of positive manipulation, where you're not trying to hurt anyone. You're actually trying to skillfully guide someone to the desired result or a completion of a mission. And when you talk about divine masculinity and divine femininity, in order for a masculine, divine masculine man to actually partake in the perfect symbiotic relationship with the feminine, divine feminine woman, it's gonna require contravance, because the yelling and screaming and getting irate and trying to bully that man in turn produces the exact opposite result. So I think your seed planting example was perfect. I think it was perfect, because you put a seed and he doesn't have to nurture it, but if he does, he can see the reward of the idea, but it's not forceful. I talk about this all the time. There's power in submission. Women's greatest power with their man is through submission. That's how you can get the extra out of them. If you got a woman who's trying to fight for herself at the airport, and a woman who is looking like she is not in a position to want to fight, a lot of times men will come help the one that looks like she needs assistance. It's because she's not trying to over exert herself in the situation. It's why certain people get more assistance than others. Yeah, I think you were spot on with it. And I think it's going to be consistently hard to explain a lot of these concepts if people don't understand energy or have no desire to understand energy. So, yeah.
It's almost as if your femininity brings out his masculinity.
No, it exists. So the masculinity exists. It's like with men. We can't turn gay for a day and then meet the right woman and become straight. Like with us, once we engage in some gay activities, it's tainted forever. But with women, they can cross back and forth, and it's not really a big deal. It's because of the roles that we I think they're natural, but somebody would say that we sociologically constructed into. But whatever the reason is, the fact still remains that you would have to be masculine no matter what. And she can radiate back and forth in those things because women mold to the man that they're with. Men don't mold to the women they're with.
Thank you.
No, Marcus, that is wrong. That's totally wrong. Yes, it is. That is totally wrong. She's supposed to be feminine in nature, regardless with her man. He don't have to bring shit out of her, and she shouldn't have to bring shit out of him. But we're trying to give this psychobabble as if they're supposed to. It's only I need you to come to the table and whip this out of me, and I'll promise you I'll be the most feminine woman for you in the world. No, you're supposed to come that way, and he's supposed to come that way, and y'all rock it out. That's how you're supposed to show up to the door.
I want to agree with you, Sweeney, but I want Ruth to go first.
I agree, Sweeney, that's an ideal preposition to navigate from, and it would make life easier for women if they were able to do that. Well, but the truth of the matter is, today's
if I grant you that argument, then that means that her femininity brings out his masculinity, and his masculinity. No, because we're not going to give women a pass and say that they're the only ones that's especially when we done said on these panels how y'all done said that men done been feminine and men done been effeminized over this years because they've been raised by single mamas and all of that shit. And we can say that women can all of a sudden mold and adapt, but at the same time we talk about how they don't mold and adapt and how they resort back to they lizard brain. We just giving them a way out every single time. No,
you just
either it's hold on, Mr. Lego. Either it's this or it's that. We can't keep dabbling and flipping back and forth between the two.
They're women. They are
Mr. Lego.
Hold on, y'all. Let Marcus reply back.
I think a better example with that. Now, just follow me. There's a mold, right? The mold has to exist as the mold. Then you can have clay. Some clay is softer, some clay is easily malleable, some clay is rigid and it's going to require water in order to take it. It may take the form of being almost in a mold because it does not easily bend. But with the right manipulation or contrivance, you can get that clay into that mold. But the mold needs to remain consistent because everything has to conform to the mold. Nothing conforms to the clay.
In other words, fellas, this is psychobabble of they gonna do what the fuck they gonna do.
I want to respond to Sweeney, but I want the ladies to go.
They're gonna act the fool, and they're gonna act the problem. They're gonna give you problems.
All right, ladies.
And then
hold on, let go.
And then they expect you to come in and fix that shit. That's what he said.
Let go. You gotta let Sweeney finish. Go ahead, Sweeney.
He got it. Go ahead, bro.
Ladies.
Let go. Go ahead, Ruth.
All right. I was going to say, as women, we have to be careful when we have a lot of plans and how we see our lives and trying to make a man fit into our lives versus trying to see where if you have a lot going on and he has a lot going on and you want that top guy, you're either going to have to go all in on his plan or you're going to have to find where those two, you remember that Venn diagram where we both can fit into this thing and do this thing together. Because no masculine man is going to just jump ship and just do what you want to do. If and there are exceptions to the rule because I know I think Judge Lynn Toller said that her husband realized that her career was better than his career, so he went all out and then he took he went out and got her on TV. So it can happen, but we have to be more flexible as the woman and that's part of femininity as well. But you can't expect a man to be like flexible and fit into your world, and you got to kind of fit into his as well and work together, figure that out together. But
can I just jump in real quick? A really great book to read for those that are listening is The Way of the Superior Man. If you're trying to get that idea of masculine energy and feminine energy, and for ladies too. And there's also The Way of the Superior Woman. That's a really great book, but it really gives you an idea as to how and why we flow the way that we do. Kind of what you were just saying, Ruth, as far as like really being inside of your feminine and allowing yourself to understand that literally this is just the truth of the matter. A man that's in his masculine, us as women kind of take a side seat and maybe even a back seat to his purpose. It just is what it is, right? If that, like, God's calling on his life, but that it just is what it is. If you want a certain type of man, you don't have to choose that man either. But.
All right, go ahead, Wes.
Okay, because I keep hearing the whoever is rebuttaling the getting each other into whatever energy. Nobody's saying like don't come with what you're supposed to come with, like a woman's supposed to come with feminine energy. We're saying that you could amplify it. Nobody's telling nobody, oh, you're gonna help me with this. Like we know we got this, we holding this down, but we're saying it amplifies if you push us in that direction, like Marcus said, like, let's mold each other. Like it's simple.
I just don't understand when Sweetie, I be watching him on a lot of shows. He always talking, just like in the beginning when the women thought that you had like trauma issues because you was in your what energy?
Feminine.
You be like, what about men? They don't care about us.
Don't
Women hate us.
don't
They
add
don't love
hominem.
us.
Don't add
They do
hominem.
this and they
You
do that.
cry
You what
about men
energy?
so much.
Don't add hominem. Don't add
What
hominem. But
energy
that's the
was you in
argument.
earlier?
I was in my energy.
Yeah. Oh, no, he
Feminine
got his
energy.
own energy, y'all.
Yep, got my own energy now.
Oh, can I go now?
No. Go ahead, Mommy. Keep going. Keep
I mean, I'm just saying, you always talk about
attack my argument.
why people don't care about
I
men's
didn't say that.
feelings. You be saying it in other shows too, and
Oh,
you
don't bring up other shows. Stay right here.
But you
Stay right
brought
here.
it up. You brought it up
I didn't
this
say that.
episode.
I didn't say that.
In the first topic. Hold on. In the first topic, when the women was saying, "Oh my God, he got trauma issues," like you had the women thinking that you had some underlying issues.
Now
That's
where?
what. But look, hold on.
Now where did I say that women don't care about us? In this show?
Please, Lord, somebody please run.
I'll just ask because I want you to attack my argument, not me.
You said that. You said that. You was like, what was the topic? Oh my God,
It was
what
about
was the topic?
women
But
help.
I know I
I
forgot
can
the
help
topic,
you.
but I heard what you said.
I can help you.
That's when the women start to kind of attack you, thinking that they don't know you from a can of paint, but
Right.
they was just assuming that you had some type of underlying trauma, like you had some issues.
Fair.
But you got to understand, but that's how a woman hear things come out of your mouth, and that's why you have these women using these other terms to judge a man, saying things like sassy and this and that.
So what did I say that was sassy?
You were saying that why women see women, they don't care about us men.
I didn't say that.
Like a girl.
Now, Mr. Lego.
Okay. So they just said that for no reason.
No, you're saying something that I said.
So why did the women say that about you?
Because they misconstrued what I said.
But what did you say?
Wait. Because they misconstrued what I said, and they immediately tried to attack my masculinity and try to say who hurt you, because I said that we're sitting here expecting men to have to deal with problematic women and then give them grace when they wouldn't give us that type of grace. And then I gave an example.
What else you said?
All that I said. That's literally all I said. I didn't say anything else after that.
I got a question, Sweeney.
No.
Isn't it your responsibility as a man to articulate?
I thought I articulated myself very well.
Whatever it is that you want to say is comprehended.
I think I did a very good job at that.
Everybody on the panel didn't understand.
Trev understood. Marcus understood.
The women on this panel.
Wait, Mr. Lego.
Responding to you the same way, it seems like.
No, as a matter of fact, everybody in the chat understood me too, if you were paying attention.
The women on the panel. I'm saying the women on the panel. I'm just asking a question because I wasn't on the other thing.
Go ahead.
Mommy 3 is saying women on another panel is looking at you crazy, and then the women on this panel are looking at you like you crazy. Is that your fault or their fault? I'm just asking. I was not over there.
Their fault.
So
hold on, real quick, Ruth. I'm gonna let you slide in. The reason why I said that, because I articulated myself very well. Is not my problem if somebody misinterprets my words. Because the thing is, they came in and said, "Who hurt you? You must feel some type of way because of the words that I use." That doesn't mean that, but that doesn't mean that I didn't say what I said and that what I said wasn't right or correct.
If 12 people
okay, you're right. If 5 people on the panel didn't understand me, but 30 people, and 30 people on the chat understood me, and also on the other show, 30 people in the chat also understood me. So you can talk about the people on the panel all you want, but that's also a shaming tactic that people like to use when they don't like what you say. So they say, "Who hurt you?" It sounds like women hurt you, because one lady asked me if I had a wife because she was upset about what I said, and instead of attacking my argument, she attacked me. So no, I don't think I was the problem in that situation. I think I articulated myself very well. Now, go ahead, Ruth. I know you got some shit you gonna say. I'm ready.
We're gonna go to Ruth and then Sarah.
No, I mean, y'all said all the women. I agreed with them. As far as you got to stay in your feminine energy, and you have, because we're expecting the men to come in their masculine energy, so we have to stay in our feminine energy. Most of the time. I think there's a line, and we were talking about that line, like when it gets dangerous, then you got to switch up. And men have to understand that, and sometimes it does feel like men don't. It's like, because you're trying to say your point, that you don't understand like the danger. Like sometimes you tell a man a story and he's like, "Oh, I could never deal with that. I could never." That means you never put yourself in a woman's shoes. So women just thinking, like, if you guys could give us grace and just hear our side of the story and like communicate that you understand that that's dangerous for us, then we can say, okay, let's move on and talk about the feminine side of things. So but I don't think that a man, a woman, like whatever Sweeney said, I think women use it as an excuse to be like, "Oh, I don't have to be feminine because I don't like you," or you're not the kind of man I want, so I'm just have that, what is it, conditional femininity. So we just have to learn how to articulate and act accordingly. So.
But we never said we'll disrespect a man.
Hello, Sarah.
I
don't get it.
Say something really similar along the lines of, Sweeney, I don't think that you did a bad job of articulating your point. In fact, I think you're very clear inside of what it was that you were saying. However, I think like I said earlier when you were saying it, it's not that what you're saying is right or wrong, because people will argue both sides of the coin. Mm-hmm. The issue is that it's divisive. It creates a divide between what we want. We don't want a group of men, like Ruth was just saying, to hear that and weaponize what you say, and now go forward saying, "Oh, well, y'all heifers, it ain't that hard for y'all. Y'all don't, when you're not putting yourself into our shoes, it again just creates a larger and larger and larger divide." So I don't think that you have an issue articulating yourself. I don't know if anybody hurt you, nor is it any of my business. But what I do know is the message that you're portraying is allowing for the majority of people, because you have to remember, most people live inside of their trauma. Most people are easily triggered. Most people are reactive instead of responsive. And so when you do these sound bites and these sound clips, you're giving more people an opportunity to buy into the story of black men don't support black women, the story of black women are too masculine, the story of men don't understand us. And there's so many different stories that get to be created, because most people, and we just got to be fair, most people are not doing the work to heal. And we as leaders inside of a space have to be mindful of the message that we're portraying out there, that we're not creating more of a divide, because where we divide, there's conquer. Right? We want to make sure that we're coming together, because, like Confucius says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
So,
Sweden,
hold on, let them finish. I mean, let them respond. So, I'm in total agreement with you. The only thing I disagree with is that sometimes I think divisiveness is necessary. For example, when you're talking about somebody that says that their femininity, or you hear the language of their femininity is conditional, I believe that men should most definitely divide themselves from those type of women. I didn't say divide from all women. I was specifically talking about the specific point of women saying that their femininity is conditional. That you most definitely, just like if some guy got up here and started talking wildly about how he would go upside women's heads, and a woman says, leave those niggas alone, I would not go to her and be like, hey, look, who hurt you? I would say, you are absolutely right to leave that nigga alone. And that's basically where I'm coming from. So it's not necessarily it is divisive, but it's a necessary divisiveness, because those type of people we are supposed to leave alone. Divine feminine women are the ones we're supposed to be drawn to. I'm just going to call it feminine women, but I know you use divine, so I just want to throw that back at you. But feminine women, yes, we're supposed to gravitate towards, and we're supposed to cover, and we're supposed to move towards. But women who are purposely masculine with their men, or purposely making their femininity conditional, absolutely divide from them.
I do just want to say two things that you said, and I think divide is strong, because divide means separate, right? But what if you were to teach? You know, you are a masculine man, and being a masculine man, you have a beautiful opportunity to let us women know, you know, what you're doing, this isn't effective, or what you're doing, whatever it could be, whatever is the truth for a man. I'm not a man, I don't know. But I think there's a beautiful opportunity to bridge the gap instead of create a larger one. We don't turn away from things that are weaponized. We face it head on so we can come up with a solution to the problem. And then also, I just want to say, I think the difference between a divine feminine woman and a feminine woman is God. Most men, the majority of men probably wouldn't be attracted to a divine feminine woman. They might be attracted to look at her, but when it comes to that energy, it's a whole different ball game when you get around that light. And now the light that you called in and you think that you want is exposing every demon and skeleton that you've ever had in your life. And now you've either got to do the work to get rid of them, or do the work to clean it up, do the work to become better, do the work, right? And so, yes, I do think that being a divine feminine is a beautiful thing, because it is so attractive. But it attracts everything, right? Like the quote that says, you know, there can be no darkness where there is light. The more light there is, darkness is either pushed away or it has to transform, right? And I think that that's the opportunity that being in your divine feminine has, is that we transform a lot of the dark, but that doesn't mean that the dark isn't all around you. That's the only way you can see the light, right? So that's the difference for me. Divine feminine is very different from feminine.
So let me say this to Sweeney. What Sarah said is exactly why the chat is the only one that agreed with you. And I know Ruth said she would agree. I'm talking. So we're to a certain degree at a status of leadership. All of us is doing different things in our lives or whatever. And I don't know who was on the other show, right? But overall, we are chosen to be on these panels in most cases, because some people just be random people. In most cases, because we are a little bit more intellectually or emotionally fit than the chat. Okay. The chat is watching us and being entertained by us. And since we're on Black YouTube, most likely the majority of the people in the chat are on this red pill bullshit, right? So when you say something and everybody or virtually everybody in the chat agrees with you, but everybody on the actual panel disagrees with you, that means there actually is a problem, because the chat is ready. They're on some off with her head type of shit. Let somebody say something. Get rid of Mommy 3. Get rid of Sarah. They always they want smoke. So every time there's something divisive said, like Sarah said, the chat is instantly going to agree with you, because they want to be entertained. They want to hear smoke. They want to hear the arguments. So for you to sit here and say, but the chat agreed with me, you kind of sound crazy, because the chat is going to agree with anything divisive. So I don't want to go back and forth with you on that. I just wanted to say that.
I'm going to respond to that, because you
after I'm done. So and to answer your other issue, which you fail to understand, and the people in the chat fail to understand, women and men are not goddamn same. And I don't know how much I gotta fucking say this. Women are like water, okay? They all over the goddamn place. They left, right, up and down, right? They're everywhere. They're not men. I'm not done, sir. And for some weird gay reason, y'all either want women to act like men or won't accept women if they aren't acting like men. but y'all want them to be feminine all at the same goddamn time, which is stupid. So women operate like water. A woman is going to take the shape of the container in any environment. If she goes over here, she's going to take a shape of that environment. She comes over here, she's going to take the shape of that environment. They are not a monolith like men. Men are stoic, and we most likely are going to be consistently the same in every environment. Women aren't. And if you niggas can't accept women for being them, go be with a man. All right. The next is men are like buses, because this is for Ash. You had a question earlier. How does a woman, if she doesn't know where she's going, how does she pick a man, right? You have to look at men like buses, okay? For you to get on a particular bus to go a certain direction, you already have to want to go a certain direction. And I think Sweeney said that in the chat. And that's why I agree with you on Sweeney. Women have to know where they want to go before they start getting with a man. All right. Because the thing about it is men are like buses. You got to look on the side of the bus and agree to go where the bus is going. You don't just get on a bus and go wherever the man is taking you. No, you have to agree with the man. You got to sit down with the man and say, so where do you want to go? Or what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then you got to hear it and say, nope, I'm not going there. Get off the bus. Or either you got to say, oh, okay, we're going the same way. I'll sit on the bus, but I'm not going to put my headphones on, look out the window. I'm going to watch your ass to see if you know how to drive this bitch. And then don't take over if he can't drive it. You get off the bus, because that's the difference. You can't take over. You have to get off the bus. And that's what women don't know how to do properly. They like to try to take over instead of getting the fuck off the bus. So that's all I got.
All right, we are starting to wind down a little bit to a close. I want to get let me get Ash in there, Trev, Marcus. Yeah, 20.
So I don't you guys all made wonderful points. I don't particularly remember asking how to I don't remember asking that particular question. However, you did make a very notable point, Mr. Let Go, when you spoke in reference to knowing where you want to be as a woman and either having the man assist, like leading you there, or getting off the bus, because that is where remaining in your feminine energy derives from. Because I remember when Sarah was speaking in regards to she made a point, and I had a great supporting statement for it, and then I lost my train of thought. But like Mr. Let Go basically reiterated my point in saying that as a woman, you do have to have a certain level of it was in support. It was also in support of Mrs. Day West. She made the point of having a zen, having communication, and having compromise. And I agree to a certain Stanier, there needs definitely in any relationship, it has to be a level of compromise. I will say that it has to be a very, very in thought communicated compromise. It has to be a great foundation for trust, because you don't want to compromise and then years later be upset with yourself that you settled for the life that you chose.
Right, because you weren't going in the same direction as a person. Right.
Exactly. And life changes. People grow in different areas every day and years. Couples, marriages, they're relearning each other. They're refalling in love with each other. So things happen, of course, but when you have that commitment to understanding one another and growing with that person, then you're able to still meet at the same point. You're still able to accomplish, like you're still able to make plan B, make plan A work for the two of you, but you have to be on the same mind frame to get that done, because you don't want to be led astray, nor do you want to just be submissive to something that your dream doesn't that doesn't support your dreams.
And right now, the chat is totally disagreeing with me. That's how I know
that you're a dumbass. No, I'm just playing.
No. I'm happy with that, because when the chat actually agrees with me, that's when there's a problem. That's kind of like how it actually supposed to work. I want it when the chat disagrees with me, I'm on point. I don't want the chat. The day the chat is like, oh, I totally agree with Mr. Let Go, that means I'm saying some dumb shit.
You normally they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. When you say goofy shit, they're supposed to disagree with you.
I was saying
that I want to give one example why. Because here's the crazy part, and I'm going to quote this Bible verse: "It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman." Mr. Let Go's very real life is an example of that. He said when that woman didn't want to get on his program, what did he do? He left her ass alone. And that's literally what I said at the beginning of the show was, if she's not feminine when she's supposed to be, leave her ass behind. And his very real life is an example of that. And he gonna get up here and tell y'all this psycho babble bullshit. I'm gonna let y'all have it, man.
Hello, so when you called it something from the Bible?
Yeah, I did quote the Bible.
So I ain't gonna take all day with it, but I just want to say this, right? Ruth, you definitely bodied your last point, and I wanted to talk to Thanksgiving real quick because she said a lot of things that I absolutely agree with, right? But either way, Marcus, you supported the point that I'm definitely not with, right? I'm not with that whole, and I understand because I have done it, right? I understand the art of molding women and blah, 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 blah. However, my whole thing is I want to build strong families, right? I want us all to be able to be suitable mates for each other. So we can't reward bad behavior. We can't give excuses and cop-outs and say, you know what? It's cool. We understand. No, listen, if you're not getting the results that you want, you must improve. What is it that you're going to do to attract the men that you want? Everybody complaining about how hard it is to get a man, how single they are, but then they're not willing to improve. You must become more feminine. And we can't say that this is just how women are, because there are women here. And especially if you get on a boat or a plane and go across the seas, it is not. Women do come feminine right out of the box. So it's possible for the female species of humans to actually be feminine. We can't give so many cop-outs and just say that this is the way women are, because it's not the natural state of a female. Why are we not recognizing that? It's not gay to think that this is not the natural state of females, because it isn't. We have to accept that. And once you accept your flaws, I'm on men. If they're doing something wrong, I'll be like, yo, you trying to get women and you broke? Stop it. Get your life together. Improve. Get better. Go hang out more. Become more social. Dress better. Put on some damn smell goods. They get no mercy from me because they need to hear these harsh truths. I'm going to do the same thing for women because I want the best for you. I want everyone who wants to be married to be able to get married. And the only way we're going to do this is to stop giving women cop-outs. Stop saying that this is the way women are. Stop saying, okay, because I understand it, right? But not everybody's going to be able to navigate that type of a situation. Most men aren't equipped like that and why do they have to deal with that? Why would they work so hard? This is why men are checking out, because they realize it works in other places. They realize there's easier things to do. Like I can find somebody else who's more cooperative out of the box. Why would I go through all the hoopla and I could just go get me a female who's easygoing? Why knock yourself way down here and you're competing for what it is that you want? It's very difficult as a woman to find the man that you want. There's nobody on this panel who would disagree with me. So why not do every single thing in your power to get a good man that you want?
Hold tight, y'all. Hold tight, because I do want to hear Marcus respond on this. Because I'm
throwing you the alley oop, bro. Dunk that motherfucker.
I'm just sitting here and absorbing all this information that I'm receiving right now. Marcus, do you have an example as to why that mindset that you come from may be necessary? Is it because what I'm hearing from Trev is just like, hey, if a woman is exhibiting this behavior, then why not just go find you someone where you ain't got to deal with it. It'd be much easier. But can you give me an example as to like your perspective on this? Go ahead.
So part of molding and training somebody is positive reward and negative so not rewarding negative behavior. So I don't think that what I'm saying disagrees to the extent that you may be perceiving it when I'm saying you should reward people for behaving in a positive manner, and you should remove or take away people from behaving in a negative manner. There are varying degrees of it, right? So if you told your lady you don't like her to wear certain type of clothing, right, and she wants to go out the house that way, and you had planned on going someplace with her, don't go. I'm just not gonna go. That's an example of not rewarding positively behavior you don't like. Now, if you told her, I don't want you flirting and talking to other men at the gym, and you find her doing that and you leave her behind it, that's also an example of it, but it's to varying degrees. So when I'm talking about rewarding and punishment for negative behavior, it's a sliding scale as far as the extremes you go to and the extremes you don't go to. Your other point, can you Trev, quickly tell me the point you disagree with me on again, so I can make sure I address that fully.
Okay, because I noticed you offered plenty of grace for the women for understanding that they are going to mold to situations, right? And I dig that. But guess what? If we tell women hear this stuff and they're like, okay, yeah, he gets it. But guess what? That man, that suitable man, is going to skip right over her when she hears that type of language from you as a man to support that. You can't do that, because when they hear that, they think it's okay to be like that. And it's not. It's very bad. You shouldn't be like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean by that's where I feel like it's kind of rewarding bad behavior, by saying it's okay. This is how women are. This is what women do. But then when you go other places, this ain't what women do. And that's what I'm saying. We're accepting this as the norm, but it's really not the norm.
So I think this comment is the perfect comment to describe. Marcus and Trev are correct. They just looking at it from two different angles. Marcus believes all women are malleable, which I do. Trev does not want to mold them, right? I think that's a fair statement. You got to think my general philosophy is that all women are there's almost no women that are unable to be molded, but it depends on the incentive system. If she wants to be with that man, she'll figure out a way to conform to what she needs to for that man. I don't think there's a one size fit all that all men can get all women to act in this type of behavior. Because truthfully, we live in a society with so many different variables that we can't. In reality, it will not work. Ideologically, I would agree with you, but I'm trying to speak in a realistic base where I could provide a tangible step for people that are trying to find a form of a process to get to the desired result. And the truth of the matter is, most men are not going to go overseas and find a wife. Now, if most men dedicated themselves to going overseas and finding a wife from a culture that they just bask and live directly in their femininity in the way that men desire, then we can have a different conversation. But if you can't convince all of the men to go find these specific type of women, then they have to exist within the parameters of what they're faced with. I said before, I've never dated a single mom seriously, right? But that's because of the options that I was afforded. Had I been in a position where the best woman that I could possibly receive for myself was a single mom, then I would have generally entertained that concept. It all boils down to the variables. What do you have to bargain with and market with on the social, sexual marketplace? And knowing those things, you then have to see what's the best deal that you can get with what you have to offer. So what I'm speaking to is just the reality of life. If you want an extremely attractive woman, but most extremely attractive women are not interested in you, you may get an extremely attractive woman that you may have to work with more, if that's what you want. But it's a slider scale, like 2K. Sometimes you're gonna get 100% of what you want, 90% here, and you may be able to raise that up to 93 with practice. What's that? The plan of playing? Okay, well that's it.
I thought you was. I want to hear if Trev, like, how do Trev feel about what Marcus just said? Like, is it? I mean, can you understand where you're coming from with it, or you just still dead set on what you said?
No, it's not even. We're talking about two different points, and that's the problem, right? So I understand where he's coming from, and I understand what the reality is, right? But what I'm trying to inform the women of what the reality is, right? The fact that if you do things better, you'll get better results. That part, right? I'm trying to encourage women the right way to do things to garner the attention you want and get the results that you want, right? And I think it's counterproductive for women to hear that it's okay for them to have conditional femininity, right? And that we know the right man will be able to mold that and blah blah blah, and that's cool. But women are complaining even more about being single, and a lot of times if men don't get married, it's a lot of times because they check out. Women are not getting married because they feel like they can't find a suitable mate. But if women were to improve just on the femininity part, that is the most attractive thing that you can be. Feminine and be a nurturer. Those are the most sustainable qualities that you can have for a relationship. So if you present those, that's what makes a man love you. That's all I'm trying to say. That's the stuff that they need to hear in order for them to get the results that they want. Not like, oh, this is you can do this and the right man will be able to mold you. I don't think that's going to work for them because they're not getting the results that they want. I'm talking about the women. They are not getting the results that they want. How could they do better? Let's give them some suggestions, some solution-based suggestions that like, hey, this is what you can do to improve. And I think that the femininity is extremely important to most men. And that's what we really, really need to concentrate on right now. Tell them this is what you can do better to get the results you want.
So I think the issue, Trev, is you're speaking to women and I'm speaking to men. When you're trying to tell them
that's the difference.
Yeah,
we're both speaking to men and women.
So I'm not telling men that women need to become more feminine in order to get XYZ.
Right.
I'm telling men be this version of masculinity, and women will conform as by proxy as the result of. And that's been the experience that I've experienced in my life, and I've been able to teach or help other people experience who have similar or desirable results. You yourself are a masculine man who exhibits the traits that will get women to conform. It's not a coincidence that the women in your life interact in a way, and it's not a coincidence that men who don't behave like you, women interact in a different way. We see it all the time. There are women on panels who come on here, they don't do the same stuff to me or you consistently, right? It's because of the what I'm describing that men should behave in. Most times we remain stoic. Most times we're not going to sit back and argue and go back and forth. We'll make our point and move on. We're not adamant on convincing or belittling or trying to ridicule any of the women. We say what we say and we move on. If you're in the spirit of arguing and trying to belittle them, then there's certain results that you're going to get. I'm not here to place judgment or cast a stray on when people do that. I'm saying it's specifically the reality of how this looks. And I would take again to that in your real life is very similar. And that would mold the way that you view women. A lot of times when I hear people describe a problem, if I'm talking to them and the way they describe the problem also alerts me of the problem that they have. I'll say it again. When I hear people describe a problem, if I'm intently listening, I often hear them describe the problem that they have. If they're having a problem with maintaining a job, these jobs ain't shit. Every job they go on, it's a non, like they taking advantage of you. They just trying to overwork you. They just trying to do XYZ. What I'm hearing is you have a issue with authority, possibly, and you possibly don't follow the rules and regulations within that job. You're telling me about the job, but I'm hearing about what's the issue with you. And instead of addressing what the job needs to do, because the job is the job, I'm saying, hey, you bring these attributes to any job and these will be the results you'll get. They're consistencies and breadcrumbs for success in life. And I think you have to understand them, but we're talking to two totally different demographics when we dialogue. I only believe in addressing the men because I believe that women are moldable, all women.
No, they're not.
And by proximity of good men, they fall into the space they're supposed to be, because the key element that women need is trust and safety. And when they feel they have trust and safety for the man, the things they say they would never do, they tend to do. Men should not operate from a space where the things they say they would never do, they tend to do. That's not a good man. I just think that that's a woman when that happens. You understand what I'm saying? If she can, if you the things that women.
I just want to add this because I think this is kind of like where the issue is, Trev. Y'all spend so much time trying to tell women what they're doing wrong instead of just simply you just rising and being better, and the women that are up here are going to want to work with you. And this is what's crazy. Marcus helps men, you help women, but I operate like Marcus as far as my verbiage goes, and I actually help women because the thing about it is, if y'all watch any of my content, I talk about if you fat, you ain't gonna find no man. If you do this, you ain't gonna find no man. So I just simply tell women, if you aren't doing this, you're going to be left out. Kind of like what Sweeney says. Some of the shit Sweeney says, I agree with. But y'all have this dark, desolate, this lack mentality of, oh, women are never going to act right. Ladies, if y'all are never going to, like,
said that?
Hold on, because you just said it while Mark was saying they ain't never going to act right.
I did not say that.
Yes, you did. So it's like, who cares what they are going to do? So y'all, it's a lot of energy whining or complaining about what women aren't doing. Like I say, like with me, I say, I'm Mr. Sit Your Ass Down, right? I say women are children. I say a lot of things that women don't necessarily respond well to. But at some point, like Mommy 3, women are like, yo, I kind of like understand what Mr. Let Go was saying. Earlier, he was saying the shit I ain't understand. So I just simply am being confident in what I think and what I believe, and I stay steadfast in it. And in month 2, month 3, month 6, or whatever, folks are like, you know what? I really know what he's talking about then. I don't sit around whining about women. I say any woman in my life is going to do this, that, or she going to get the fuck out. I don't care what the women that done got the fuck out are doing, because I don't care. And I think that's the difference between you and Sweeney versus Marcus or me or different people. And I think that's where the issue is, because y'all are like spewing divisiveness, and we are just simply being like, you either gonna shut the fuck up, you gonna get out. And then that's it.
What I said.
Y'all, hold on, y'all, because we gotta start wrapping up. I see people's faces, and I do want to go around just like 1 minute real quick, just to hear what the ladies got to say before we close out. And like, I think Marcus and Travis making some good points. Like, everything is always going to be situational, and I've been in a lot of situations, and the situations that I've been on, I've seen it all. And I could take some information from Trev, and I could take some information from Marcus, and you could be able to apply it. I think us having this information, like us being more aware about what's going on, whatever situation we be in, we're gonna know how to navigate it. And if you want to choose to go a little bit further, with depending on that person, then you can with this information. If you want to pull out and you just said like, no, I'm not going to do it, then you can exit. So this is all this is information. I don't think we got to put any personal feelings into it. This is great. Like, this is great for anybody can apply some information to their situation. Some people probably already in too deep. And so this, like, what this does is now they can become a little bit more self-aware. And if they need to get out, then they have the motivation to get out. They have the understanding to get out. So this is all game. This is all game. And I think I seen somebody in the comments say, because people shift and change for whatever reason. You know, I'm gonna be honest. You'll be surprised how a woman will change up on you when that dick stop working. When that dick stop working, a woman will change. I've seen it. I hear the stories, and you might have to do a hard reset and figure out how you're gonna tackle the situation, because you vetted the way you're supposed to in the beginning, but now you got some different variables that's coming into play, and that's just the reality of it. So if you don't know how to navigate situations further than the beginning, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be lost. When somebody goes through a death, sometimes it ain't the same person. But you already got these 20 years in. You gotta be able to understand what the situation calls for. Like, sometimes I don't have a plan for every room that I walk in. I just read the room. And I just take it as it comes. Like, I have a obsession of being able to navigate on the fly. I'm always rushing all the time. I know I need to get better, but I work better under pressure. So I don't think that any of this information that we're receiving is necessarily a wrong or right, because it's going to be different for whoever is on the receiving end of it. But I do want to hear from the ladies, because Like you guys are the ones that's like that's in it. I just want to know if is there some truth to it. Just kind of keep it brief so we can go ahead and close the show out. I do want to hear Trev. I know Trev wanted to respond. I know he quiet majority of the time, so I'm gonna go ahead and give him an opportunity to respond just to close this out after the ladies.
Oh, that's unfair.
I would say that. Okay, so back to what Ash said in the beginning, that you have to be whole, working on yourself as a woman. Um, Men, that's going to be more attractive to for a man to want to marry you or want to be in a relationship with you. And I think that men are going to be in that leadership position. So the reason why you're looking for someone feminine is because you want her to be moldable. So to some degree, you will be molding her. And I think that men just want to start at a good place to great. They don't want to start with an unhappy woman and trying to make her happy. You got to be happy already, and he can make you happier. So it's just you have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to work with people. If you're too rigid and too stiff with it, then you're not going to be able to be in a relationship because it's going to change. Like you said, it's going to shift. And the last thing I want to say is being masculine is very important. Like a lot of men they would always like stick around and wait for a girl to break up with them. And so the one thing that about my man where it kept caught my attention, and he told me that he broke up with a girl because she was being disrespectful. So I was like, "Ooh, a man breaking up with a woman? Like I don't hear that all the time." Like, so I mean, and it wasn't like a serious situation. It was just exactly what Mr. Let Go said, and so I could respect the masculinity in him, and it made me want to inquire more. So that's what I want to say.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Wes.
I was just thinking the miscommute between Trev and Marcus is that, like, Trev is talking about a woman that's not already coming to the table being feminine, and Marcus is talking about a woman that's already feminine and just molding what she already bringing to the table. But I guess that's where the message is getting misconstrued because nobody really ever just said no one's already feminine. What we're saying is, like I said again, it's amplifying what the woman is already bringing to the table with her femininity.
Okay.
To be clear, this is where that what was it, conditional femininity comes in, because I believe there's some women who will not come to the table feminine for me may come feminine for Trev, and then he can mold her, whereas I may not have been able to mold her and get her into that space because she didn't come feminine for me. That was, my general premise. Ideally, all people should be masculine, all men should be masculine, all women should be feminine, but we exist in a different paradigm. There's been a shift for various reasons: cultural programming, propaganda, war on masculinity, like all these different things. So navigating this cultural landscape that we're in, it requires tools, and I've seen the tools that I'm ascribing to be successful work on various degrees and levels. And yeah, you should leave somebody that will not come to you feminine, right? I do agree with that. But I don't agree she cannot be feminine for someone else. That was my whole thing.
Go ahead, Mommy 3.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
All right.
What?
Wait a minute.
Damn, I'm sleeping in a
No,
moment.
I'm not talking about you. I'm not.
I'm sleeping.
I'm not even responding to you, Mama Tree. Trev, I'm gonna go after you, bro. You want to go after me, or you want me to go after
Baby,
you?
I done
Oh no,
talked
hold on.
enough.
We gotta go to Ash. Go ahead, Ash.
Ash, I forgot Ash didn't go.
I honestly feel as though you guys were
your name is Jesus. I call your name is Jesus.
We're saying the exact same thing in separate forms. And I think that they were having the same point, just missing a little bit of understanding. But I don't want to kind of put too much more highlight on their discussion because it keeps leading us further away from the topic. I just want to close out with saying that when a woman, like Sarah was saying, when a woman is like a woman, there's a big difference between feminine energy and divine. feminine energy. A feminine, regardless of which one you are going to be submissive to the man. However, when you come into a divine state of mind, you become that healer, you become that empath. And that is when there needs to be extra protection for yourself. And you have to sharpen your intuition so you don't fall into these dating pitfalls and things of that nature. You have to, because like she was saying, when you are of light, you're going to be surrounded and or attract dark, and you never want people to come in your light and dim your light. So, but you also have to remain stature in your womanhood. So with all that being said, I just want to say that it's very key important of it. Just all backs to knowing about who you are, making sure that you are sustaining and feeding into your highest self. As as Marcus was saying, it's, well, how I feel in regards to Marcus's statement, I would say that, well, in between their both statements, I would say that yes, a woman should come to a certain to the table at a certain level. However, when a man is operating in his highest self and his divine nature, she's able to commit more to the mission at hand. She's able to, because she's going to be submissive regardless. But if say I'm lacking in something, I may have not been taught by my parents, or I never had that certain experience. Am I not, and this is just a hypothetical question, this is not personal, am I not allocated to that help of being, so to speak, molded? So I believe that there should be certain levels, and I believe that compassion goes both ways.
All right. I go ahead, Trev.
All right, I'm gonna try to keep it as quick as possible. So I know Sweeney wanted to do a little something, so I'm gonna try to be quick.
Take your time, Trev. Take your time.
I'll just say this.
You might say what I'm about to say.
Let's just say how Mr. Lecco might say, you know what, you need to get your ass in the gym, or you're overweight, right? The harsh truth that they don't want to hear. But now it's no good to say, hey, be more feminine, even though it's the harsh truth. That's what we need. There's nothing dark about it, right? There's nothing dark about it. There's nothing red pill about telling the truth about human improvement, right? I'm just the same with men and women alike. I talk to men, I talk to women, and any information that I can offer that will get them better results, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you what I need to help you win. That's all I want to do. I'm not up here to hurt people's feelings. I don't disrespect people. I ain't going to call them no names, nothing crazy. All I want you to do is win. And if people come in and say, no, it's difficult out here, I don't know how to get men out here, as a man, from a man's point of view, if I can tell you that, if I'm having trouble with women, I will listen to a woman to see where her point of view is. That's how I got a lot of my game, to keep it G. So me as a dude, right, mid-40s, if I could give you a little bit of game and say, hey, look, dudes, we really like feminine women. And I understand the point of men, because I tell men what they could do. I also offer men game and say, yo, this is what you need to do. You're not doing this right. I'm going to do the same thing for women that I encounter. If I could drop a gem that would help you in life to get the man that you want, then I'm going to do that, right? I'm going to try to be as respectful as possible, but sometimes it's a harsh truth. We're not going to want to hear it. But if I get, and there's other women that are getting it, then you're like, they're doing something. That's how I improved. I didn't come out of the womb. But you know what? I took rejection, and then I took myself and I said, damn, what could I get better at? What could I get better at so I can go ahead and obtain some women? And then I got really good at it, right? And I did what I wanted to do. But it took work for me to get married. I had to work on that. For somebody to want to be around me forever, I had to work on that. That wasn't something that just came up overnight, right? So all I'm trying to say is I just want people to because we're talking to men and women, right? There's men and women in the chat, and then there's men and women on the panel. And when some of those talking points were said, like women could, are you just like if the P hit the button, you could see him, and what that's doing is reassuring that what they're doing is okay, but it's not. And we have to let them know. We got to stop them in their tracks and say, look, this is what you should do. Just because I want y'all to win, I'm going to tell the men the same thing. I talk to a lot of men one-on-one. No, this is how you win, bro. You ain't doing it right because it's going to get you better results. That's all I got. I'm out.
I gotta go to bed. Can I just say one thing before I go? I'm about to go.
You can go after me, or you can go to bed.
Yeah, is that okay? My eyes hurting. I'm just saying. I just want to say.
You want to go after me? You can go after me.
Because I think I found the answer to.
Hold on.
You know he about 70. You know let's go 70.
Yeah, because we got to close out anyway. Let go. So let Sweeney go and then.
All right, go ahead. I just falling asleep. Trying to stay
like
up.
A kid. Stop acting like a child.
Shut up. My eyes hurt.
And I think there is some crossover to a lot of the things that we said, right? But the interesting thing was the reason why we were talking about women today is because the conversation was specifically about women and their femininity. So that's the reason why we're even talking about it. But if you go into these male spaces, men are told to improve every single day. So we have no problem. I have no problem with with Marcus talking to men and telling them, hey, this is what you need to do if you want to get the results that you want in life. However, this was a panel specifically addressing women and how their femininity can affect or improve a man, or how their femininity or lack thereof can affect their relationships with men. So that's the position that I'm speaking from, because every woman on this panel said that they wanted a leader. Well, in order for you to get a leader, you have to come in feminine. You can't be stale bread, or you can't be hardened clay. You have to come in moldable, i.e. feminine. And that's the position we were all talking from. So it's that simple. If you don't want to be if you want to come in hardened and you want to come in on your own shit and you don't want to follow his program and you got your own shit, then he should be able to leave you alone, because you don't want to you don't want to go in the direction he's trying to lead you into. That's the only thing.
All right, take us home. Now go.
I think one of the issues that may be different from us, because Sweeney, a lot of the things you be saying, I agree with. Just like you said, yeah, that's what I said. We agree. It's just a different approach. And I think the difference is advocation. I think y'all advocate for men, and I don't advocate for nobody. I go off on women, I go off on men, and I'm just objective, and I don't advocate. So I think, I may be wrong, when y'all on these panels, we see y'all advocating for men so much where it makes us throw up in our mouths some point, like, God damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it sometimes seems to be no objectivity. Just like Trev said, I tell men, yo, but you don't be going off on men on no panel. You'll just say, yeah, I do one-on-ones with men too. But you go off in a way, because you cool. I'm not saying you be saying crazy shit, but the advocation is for men. So it seems like y'all are always against women because y'all advocate for men. And with me personally, I don't advocate for nobody. Everybody kiss my ass, because at the end of the day, some people suck and some people don't. And I just show how you can live where you won't suck, whether you're a man or a woman. And maybe that's the difference. And I'm just putting that out there. I don't advocate for nobody, and it seems like y'all do. And that might be the difference.
All right, let me get your super chats. Class Clown. Yo, Marcus, time for you to upgrade to a new mic. Always looking like you're about to give the mic some. Oh, wow.
Super pause.
Well, y'all pick up my new card game.
Okay. Kenneth, $2 says women don't need to fall into what they are. Kenneth again says, Trevor, don't spell the rod tonight. Kenneth again says that you stopped the pandering to sell your cars at the expense of trying to tear down valid points that Trev made. That was not the norm with Mommy 3.
Whatever.
Frenchie K, remember for 12 months, says salute for Trev for keeping it 100. Kenneth again says, JR, don't keep me on a leash. Let me do the Lord's work. Let go, a.k.a. Pootie Tang, is out of order. Kenneth again says, cook them ribs, Sweeney. Kenneth again says, talk, Sweeney. Ikene said, Mr. Lego is a feminist. Women are on the panel.
Why you had to leave?
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm about as objective as they could.
Says these issues will go away if brothers just start dating white women.
Oh, damn.
Bob says women will use your weak points against you if they get mad enough. Kenneth again says ass eating done triggered dementia and let go. AP accountability partner $10 says no disrespect, sis, but every man has cried in your lap and they're all exes. There's all proof we need. Men, don't do it. Find a solution and keep moving. No crying. Don't be emotional. AP accountability partner $2 says my boy Marcus said it correctly again. AP again says since women have been able to make their own money, they made provision and protection about money. Men understand it's more. Congo English says the issues are with both genders, different issues for the most part, but something we should be able to discuss, leading with accountability, not pointing fingers. I never did dating apps. I hunt the old-fashioned way. I don't need any surprises. Red Pill Ranger says my problem with modern women is most are boring. No hobbies. It's work and or Tyrone. JRFY. Binging Law and Order, eating out, and traveling, not hobbies. That DH Harris $10 says, sorry, let go. You're not entertaining. Definitely not intellectual because every other word is profane and emotional without the benefit of intellect. No stoicism at all. Shaking my damn head. Congo English. That's Trev. Great talking points tonight. Much appreciated. Vince. That was something else I highlighted. Just because they can be molded has nothing to do with a man's time, energy, or desire to do it. Sexual liberation is real, and men are good with free ass. AP, Marcus, and Trev, great dialogue with great points from both. Great way to end the show. AP again, so Mr. Let Go. Can't you just be quiet? Why do you always have to be talking, especially after the dialogue Trev and Marcus had? Are you sure you're a coach? Are you sure you coach women, or do they coach you?
They definitely coach him.
And lastly, Fred the Wolf says, can you ask the women, did anything Marcus said resonate with them? Did they hear anything of value? If so, specifically, what specifically? I think we probably had it for the night. I just want to thank everybody. It has blessed the platform. I know some came and they've gone. So let's make sure we support everybody that was on the platform. Check their IGs out and see what they got going on. TikToks, YouTube channels. Some of them got some extraordinary things going on outside of here. I know Sweeney's supposed to be starting the pod back up soon. If you are in the Dallas area, March 9th, we do have a party that we're doing March 9th. So if you are in the Dallas area, make sure you guys tap into that as well. Shout out to the sponsor again, Teach Hanley. And also make sure you guys go ahead and get that Sugar Curls and Lapeef collab. I think I touched on everything. Anything else I left out? Family?
Who's staying on the after hour? Anybody staying behind?
Well, I mean, if Marcus want to lead, he can.
Well, no, I'm not talking about like the after hour. I'm talking about when you shut down the live. Anybody sticking around?
Okay, you talking about that? Okay, all right. Hold on. Just everybody stay put for 1 second. Don't just exit. Appreciate you, family. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we out.